Games Arena for day 2 of week 6 of LEC Spring. We're back for a new set of best of 3. 2 on our hands today, just like yesterday, and we got some bangers yesterday, actually. You were guessing them.
Yeah, surprising bangers. I did not expect SK to do what they did, but they ended their season on a bit of a high note. Of course, we won't now see them until the summer split, where they have an opportunity to reset, restart, and hopefully we get a better performance than what we saw from them in spring.
And honestly, even if there's no stakes for the first game that we're going to have today, I saw some eye contact action from Sheo, giving them to Heretics on the other side. So I'm excited for this one as well, honestly.
Sheo on the side of all the way from back then with BDS.
Now shifters, That's going to be interesting.
Exciting reunion, especially now because it's just a tale written in the stars to face off against Heretics to see who was right and who was wrong.
The biggest grudge match coming in the first series we're going to have today. But before that, we want to play some games as well, because we don't only have fun on the Rift. You guys have been having a lot of fun with LOLX from Traton on social media and on Twitch for the past week. And we wanted to play that, but with a little tweaks. So we made our games ourselves. So basically, we're going to give these guys 2 players, and they're going to have to go from point A to point B, quoting teammates from those players. I'm not going to play, but I'm going to have
you're bad,
fun.
That's why you don't play.
I played against you, but we're not going to talk about that. I mean, honestly, you're a dinosaur of the scene, so for me, it's really hard. But like, I want to know who's the best between someone who's been playing professionally for 10 years and a caster.
Professional watcher versus professional player. Come on, let's
and
go.
You guys can play at home as well. So find the fastest route between these 2 players.
And we get bonus points if we just use LEC players, right?
Bonus points if it's just LEC players, otherwise you just win 1 point. Caps to Bjergsen. How do you go from Caps to Bjergsen using only teammates that they had?
So, Copenhagen Wolves is what I need to think of. Who played...
Oh my god.
Who played with Bjergsen on Copenhagen Wolves? That would have been... I think I've got
Hey, this wasn't this hard in rehearsal. Wait. Wait.
You're choking, actually.
I'm mega
it's not that hard.
So it's probably this. Okay, that's... No.
All right,
actually,
let's get there faster, guys.
Faster? I don't know if this is accurate, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
Okay,
Caps to Bjergsen, 2 mid laners. Both played in Europe.
Okay, I think I have 4, as in 1, 2, 3, 4. All
right, let's try it.
Okay, so Odo, you good?
Odo, you getting there?
No, I'm still going. I'm still going.
Okay.
Wait. Oh my god, this is.
I have a hint for you.
No hints, because I'm.
No. Okay,
no
you
hints,
did without hints.
I don't know if I'm right though.
Okay.
But I hope I am. So
let's reveal.
My connection.
Okay, guys, I messed up, but bear with me.
So my connection is Bjergsen I think played with Amazing, who I think played with Reckless, who I think has played with Caps.
You think?
Yeah, because I don't know if the Bjerg Amazing one is
Okay, what
real.
do you have?
Okay,
Caps,
so I
I
choked on the writing part of it, so bear with me. So Bjergsen played with Svenskeren, who played with Forgiven, who played with Jankos, and who played with Caps.
Okay, so Bjergsen did not play with Amazing, so you're out.
So,
yours might be correct, though.
Yes, so it goes from Bjergsen to Svenskeren to Forgiven to Jankos
Sven on the
to Caps.
original? When did Bjergsen...
Jankos played with Bjergsen?
No, that's the problem. So no.
Oh, okay.
Jankos played with Forgiven, who played with Svenskeren, who played with Caps, who...
You're correct. So we're going to give you 1 point.
Yes, I'm just lost on the map.
You did also just
2
use
points,
LEC
actually,
players.
because you just used LEC/EULCS players. The one
we had
a
point for
was
inability to write.
Caps to Jankos to Freeze to Bjergsen.
Oh, Freeze was on Copenhagen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, next one.
But that was only for a game.
Was it really?
Split. No, it was a split, I think.
Next one is Odo Amne to Naknako.
Odo, that's not fair.
But the pressure is on because it's about me.
Honestly, you can get it with only 1 player linking them.
From me to Nak?
Yeah, 1 player.
But it's not ERL, right? It's LEC.
It's only LEC.
Which means that Naknako must have played with someone either on this Vitality roster or on the previous
The
Vitality
fact that you said
roster.
it's only 1, now I'm just lost. Oh my god.
Who was on the last Vitality roster last split?
Maybe the audience knows?
Who played on Vitality last split? Why is my brain blanking?
I don't know. Not at all.
Why is it so hard?
Why is this so hard?
It's me.
Okay. You want a hint?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Make it harder for yourselves. Come on.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, I got it.
You got something. That's not what I was thinking about.
Okay, there we go.
Hang on, I need one more.
Okay. That's good, actually.
Hey, don't look.
Seriously, that's a good one. Yeah, no, I was going like Nuko humanoid hilly.
But I didn't.
I was trying to get somewhere. How do I get from hilly to Odo?
Oh, this.
Okay, so yours is correct, but this could have been Niski Naknako.
When did
you play with Niski?
No, but yeah, of course I played with Niski. But when did Niski play with Naknako?
Support. Last split.
Bro, come on. What is that?
All right. Last one.
Okay.
Last one.
Where do you suck so far?
Yeah, I know, my brain, man,
That's
my brain.
2 points to 0. Okay, let's go from Bows to Broken Blade.
Oh, this one's easy.
Okay.
That one is easy.
By the way, subs don't count.
So you're not allowing me to go the promiscuous route?
No.
Come on.
No. Bows as a sub for G2 does not count.
Okay, yeah, I've got one. I mean, this is very easy, I think. I don't know if it's the shortest connection. Like, is there a one connection I could make?
We don't have it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wait, I'm missing one piece.
One as a player? Really?
No, I was just thinking if there was one. I don't think so. Because you'd have to find the connection between Crowny. No, there's not. There's no way.
Okay, I got it.
No. Okay, let's reveal.
So it's Bounce, Reckless, Caps.
Bounce, Reckless.
Did Reiki play with... Oh, wait.
Caps, Broken Blade.
What do you mean,
that
Reckless?
Works.
Bounce played with him on
that
LR.
Works. Yeah.
This last split.
Yeah, but did Caps play with Reckless?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he did. G2 2021. 21, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Like, I played against so many people, I forgot who I played against.
Sorry. Okay, what do you have?
I had Bows to Nemesis to Reiki to Caps.
Mine shorter.
Wait, I did Reiki to Caps. And I
Yes.
literally just complained about Reiki to Caps. Bro, what's going on in my brain? But yeah, I went there.
So you have one more, so that's 2-1, but you still win.
That's good.
Just barely.
But actually,
they literally didn't use your name.
You completely choked the first one.
They should have given a Vedius teammates one. How do you
Vedius, who did you play with?
How do you get from Vedius to... you could get from Vedius to Hillisang.
Really?
Yep.
What?
You can get from Vedius to Hillisang.
Okay, let's note how.
You go Vedius, and you can do it in one.
To Hillisang.
To upset. To
what?
Hilly.
When? How?
You played with Upset?
Yeah, I did. We did a show match together.
Okay, that doesn't count.
It definitely counts.
Buddy.
It definitely counts.
In actual matches, let's talk about the games that count, actually. And back to the LEC here with the games that we had yesterday, because an update that we have is Vitality has locked top 4. They can lock top 2 with the next game they're going to have against Fnatic tomorrow. But anything we want to say about their performance and, yeah, what they've been doing so far this split?
Vitality thus far has been quite impressive.
Even yesterday?
Well, that's the thing. When you have funny matches, they tend to be very funny with Vitality. Because, come on, who's Vitality to say no to just a bunch of fun? But all that matters is that they still won. But overall, improvements in the consistency department for Vitality. Their games are still chaotic, but I still feel like they're just leveling up.
I mean, personally, I think we just have concerns at the top of the table right now. I think KC showed some inconsistencies during their weekend. I think Vitality's also shown some inconsistencies. A part of that I do think is the stakes. Yeah. I think the schedule has just been weird. Different teams playing at different times with different score lines. Everything is different. And so I think that there is a bit of a history with Humanoid where he just cares a little bit less and the stakes matter less. Yeah. Like, they've locked a spot in playoffs. They've now locked a spot in top 4. Do I think they're going to level up in playoffs? Yes, but I think the concern for Vitality is everyone's going to level up in playoffs. So I'm hoping for an exciting one as we get closer to the top 6.
And they're going to have a lot of time without playing official games. That's going to be the issue for them. On the other side, Navi has a chance to lock top 4 here today if they win against G2 later. We have seen a lot of things in the new patch that we had yesterday.
Not enough, though.
Not enough.
I saw the dragon. The dragon was useless, but it was
Dragon was useless, but it was fun. But we want to talk about what was hot or not from what we've seen in the patch so far. Vedi, you were casting yesterday, so I'm going to hit you with the first one.
Well, I was really disappointed.
Yeah.
I felt that we would see a lot of new stuff. One of the things that I really wanted to see more of was the Cyclo Sword.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that the Cyclo Sword is very hot right now. I think that as an item, it is super, super strong. I think that there are champions that it can synergize very nicely with. Some of the things that I've been hearing about is that, like, I've heard Kiana, I've heard Neferi. I think Lee Sin might also be able to take advantage of it. It's a shame that Lead has finished playing because I think this could be a great Z item as well. So I'm very hot on this item. I think it's very cool.
Quick hit on second one, Static Shiv. There was a lot of expectations for Static Shiv.
I knew it was complete bait. I knew that it was going to be completely useless. It is really fun, you know, everything goes zap zap on hit and all of that stuff, but it was really quite boring. But the one I really want to see more today is Doran's items because we had 2 new ones and no one built any of them.
You know what? If there's a set of teams that can take risk, it is going to be the teams featured in the first series. We're going to have Heretics versus Shifters, and I caught up with Sheo ahead of today's game in the whole rivalry and him being back with his ex-team. So let's check it out. Sheo, thank you for joining me. Something looks different.
Yeah,
New colors. Congratulations. Yeah, good jersey. Suits you well. Tell me about what happened, because last time I saw you, you were in the Heretics jersey. Now you're back. Shifters, new colors. I saw you in Paris last week.
Yeah.
Talk me through what happened. How did this one become to life?
I mean, they wanted to remove me, so I got some options, and I know that Shifters were interested. So I took the chance to play for them at EWC.
Yeah.
And we beat Vitality 2-0, so I'm really happy about that.
I saw that. That was pretty good results. We're going to talk about this, especially in the light of the match that you're going to have today. But for me, it's really funny. We made a special graphic for this because you were at BDS, and then BDS went with 113, didn't work. They went with Bukara, didn't work, and now you're back. So coming back to a different team, but kind of like the same environment. You have the same coach, you have the same mid laner. How difficult is it to renew the synergy you have with Nuke, for instance?
I would say it's pretty easy.
Okay.
I can tell that he missed me, and now he's happy, you know, to play with me again. So I think we'll do good at EWC and this week, and we'll focus on summer split as well.
Yeah, love it. Love it hearing this. I mean, you've been seeing the issues that Shifters have from afar. What do you think has not been working for them, and how do you think you can help in the jungle departments?
I would say there are some issue about decisiveness and being sharp on the call that they need to do. And I'm trying to help on this topic, and as well jungle support synergy was not the best, I would say, so we are working on this.
And tell me about those first steps then, working with Trimby.
I think we are doing pretty good right now. I think he has some, like, from the past, he has some trouble, so I'm trying to help him as much as I can, and the win against Vitality, I think, helps everyone.
I see. And for you mentally, maybe a trick question about leaving a team, leaving an environment, coming back again with the same coach and some of the same teammates. Do you feel like there's some trust that needs to be found again in that sense?
No, I would say that the people that know me already trust me, so I only need to make sure Rooster and bot lane trust me, and Cabo since he's new, and Juju too. So I think you are doing well, and right now it's pretty cool.
All right. Now, talking about Heretics, of course, you know them, you know the system, you know how they work from the inside. So tell me, how is that going to help you leverage the win today? Because even if you guys are out, you do need it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I will focus on myself. I don't think they are doing a lot of stuff in the game. And since I left, I assume they will have a lot of issues. So I will just be focusing on myself, and I'm sure we will win 2-0.
What is the mood coming in today, especially knowing that you're not playing for any qualification, maybe just to get used to playing together again?
Yeah, I mean, this week is still important to build some basis, because we have EWC next week again. I mean, in 2 weeks, so we still need to show that we are a good team. So I hope we can make it. And to beat my last team as well.
To beat your last team, of course. Yeah, that's personal one. Thank you so much, Sheo. Merci beaucoup. Good luck on the Rift today.
Well, Sheo's back in what was one of the most argumentatively craziest moves towards the end of the season, as Heretics versus Shifters is going to be nuts.
I mean, I'm very excited to see what he's going to bring back to what is essentially his old team. Like, was BDS renamed to Shifters, so it's a coming home story, essentially. The prodigal son returns. We'll have to see if Sheo's going to be able to pick up where he left off with Nuke, and now with a few new members on the team as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, you know, buddies, they wanted to play together, and it's really nice to see in an opening interview as Team Heretics also out 1-7. So both these teams are really just fighting for scraps off the board. This is the ultimate fries matchup here in the LEC. One we have to get out of the water.
And, like, if there was someone that you were really excited about today, Jake, who would that be?
It'd be Paddock. Bro, who could not be excited about Paddock? I mean, that guy is balling. That guy is one of the craziest AD carries we have in the league. He just needs to prove it. But then also you think on the other side, like there's a chicken in the top lane, and I'm like, man, that guy's also really good, but we didn't have the outfit.
That way you're wearing a rooster, or are you wearing?
Oh no, it's a duck. It's a duck. It's hot. It's 30 degrees outside, and I thought, what a good day to wear a chicken duck costume. Smart thing.
Yeah,
eh?
for the day that's in it, you can waddle yourself around.
That's right.
We're going to waddle ourselves into Champ
Fucking
Select in just a
mad,
few seconds as well.
I can't get the hood off. The headset is stuck, and I realised.
You take a second. And
This
you
sounded like a good idea coming into it. Now I realise.
No, it didn't.
Well, a part of me thought it was good. Outside of the mysterious, strange bumps on the outfit, I mean, everything's been great. It'd be nice for the winter, I tell you what. We're going to have to pause.
I'm going to hold this button,
yeah,
and then you can do your thing. So, as we start to get into pick and ban, nothing too untoward at the moment, as we're looking towards like the Orianna ban from mid lane, probably looking at maybe a Varus or the Azir to come through as one of his last bans. There's the Varus, and just a focus then on towards the mid lane is what I'm expecting here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Air is so nice when you need it. Now we've got Varus ban, now we've got Rise ban. Let's see if we get anything different here today. Our photographer's decided to arrive just now. That's lovely. As pick and ban opens up, I mean, when you're out, just send it. We got a bit yesterday from SK. Just send it, man. If I get Cassante boring drafts, you're solo casting the first game.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Well, look, it's going to be the Seraphine, but we did see at least a little bit of flexibility yesterday with an Ezreal being paired alongside it by Fanatics, so we'll have to see if we get a similar story. But either way, Caitlyn Bard has kind of been the de facto answer to the Seraphine, so we'll have to see if that is going to continue here. But actually, Aurora priority first.
Yeah, it's interesting priority, isn't it? I mean, Seren, I feel like this guy has been wanting to be a playmaker, but has been developing throughout the season as Nocturne gets locked in as well. Okay, it's slightly interesting, but
Ooh, this is spicy.
What's in the bag? Yeah, Sheo, you're back on BDS / well, now Shifters with Nuke.
So, like, Lee Sin has been one of the junglers that has bumped up a lot in his win rate on the new patch, so be interesting to see if that's going to be the case. The only thing I would be a little bit nervous about is not a very good pick into the Nocturne, because Nocturne has that spell shield, which you can block then the Sonic Wave, which is kind of your main damage source to the Lee Sin. So instead, they're going to just go back towards the Ashe. And while I think Vedi would be happy with the Voltaic Sword Lee Sin, potentially, I don't think that's what we're going to get.
Well, not yet, at the very least. Now, there's going to be a Rumble locked in. There it is. Aurora could flex up into top. That's just what I'm going to say. But this is not what we came for. This is not what we sell tickets for. Are we going to get an AD carry matchup? Or are we just going to say,
it would be weird, because I'd at least take the Caitlyn here, or maybe the Bard, actually. The Bard's probably the more important part of that. Because often the way you see it is hit level 6, continuously ult the Ashe's Bard, and then you're in a decent spot. But Heretics, they don't care about bot lane, it seems like.
No, they care about the Jace. They got to lock Jace in. This is too normal. This draft is way too normal. Yeah. I mean, this is Heretics' last series of the split.
Well, the thing is, there's kind of a lot of stakes for both of them, right? Even if it's not playoffs. You're looking at Shifters, who have just brought in Sheo. Sheo wants to give an elbashing to his old teammates and also pick up their first win. And for Heretics, they kind of want to show Sheo that, like, all right, you made a mistake leaving us, buddy, you know?
I mean, yesterday, they kind of showed that, you know, like, Douglas was an okay fit. I mean, the biggest problem so far has been, as you kind of said, the pieces weren't working together. Now one of those pieces is staring you dead in the eye for the last matchup of one of their splits. And as soon as Al disappears and goes away, just getting rid of some of the basic junglers that Team Heretics are worried about. Now, Shifters on the other side. Again, we saw that flex the Lee Sin. Let's see what else we get here is, seeing the hover of a Ziggs ban. Let's just pause on that one.
No, I still think, like, I'd be looking towards Caitlyn, the Bards, these kind of things that can try and answer the Ziggs, okay. But it looks like they just don't want anything that can try and push, so if they're going to target the AD carry portion, it'll probably be the Caitlyn next, and then it just becomes a question of what do they want to try and pair alongside the Bard, because I still think the Bard is a great pick here for what they have. At least it gives them the engage and kind of the setup that they want.
That Bard is it's been great for the past couple of patches as well. It does feel like even though we've run into such a big patch, not much has changed, especially in this first draft. As Dagna was talking about it before, thought process being hovered here by Shifters. As double jungle for Team Heretics leads to double bot side at the very least here, with Bard ending up as the final ban for Shifters. So long range engage kind of gone, and something that can kind of tagline down for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow in response.
Yeah, so now curious what they do actually want to try and play here on the bot side, because I think Caitlyn still an option. Maybe you just want to take the Ezreal instead and just go for full poke, because you've got like the Jace, Ezreal, Aurora can do some decent work. But we'll have to see. That would be different. Okay.
God, finally.
It could be Zeri Yuumi. Don't celebrate it.
I mean, it could be, but hey, it's different. I don't mind it. Do not touch my feathers. I don't mind it, honestly. But again, we've got a bit of poke, a bit of burst, and Zeri, we know, sustained fight. So Lulu also the option, but I do like you brought up the Yuumi.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit in LCK, so maybe that's going to be the call. She did get buffed where, well, sorry, she got changed, I'll say, where she's a little bit less damage, but a lot more zoomy in the fight. So we'll have to see how this is going to manage, because you don't really have like a front line to enable you. You are fairly self-reliant with the speed, but still, I think you'd like something that kind of enables you for the short range. But Pantheon on the upside, I mean, this is fairly box standard here from Shifters. Like, good team fights and good pushing lanes to try and play through, enable the Pantheon. Like, I think you're happy out as Shifters.
Oh, look, you guys want it, but you don't know what you want. It's like buying a cat in real life. You think, that's a lot of responsibility, and you just buy it without...
Evo i mene, ljudi moji. Mislim sam stigo, recimo na vreme. Pravo da uletimo u draft da vidimo static shift Zeri šta možda radi. Valja li išta?
Team Heretics, why not? I respect it, I think.
Do you?
I do. Dude, if we literally got...
Yuumi Zeri, prvi game, veselo. Ćemo podelimo samo svugde da smo live i onda možemo se bacimo na lagano uživanje.
This is going to keep me here because at the very least, it's something to talk about from the new patch.
Yeah, but I do agree with your point of like, you don't really have the best engage, you don't have the best of setup for you.
Turns in and that's it.
Yeah.
With Aurora, I guess.
You have some poke with the Zeri, with the W. It's not crazy. And even like Yumi's just a slow now with the ults as well. So it's not even like you get the full lockdown.
Useless. Yeah. Now, remember how broken it was? It was faster and it locked people down.
Yeah. So
it was so broken.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how this one pans out for Heretics, but yeah, I mean, if they can get a lead, play through like a lot of poke on their solo laners, maybe this is the game plan.
Maybe. Let's see if they can take over on the side of Ice and Wei. Wei did come into the talent room a little bit before, grin on his face. I don't know because he was happy or not. He either saw me or was excited to win today. Either way, Heretics versus Shifters. Some of you might be thinking, I'm going to turn off LEC for this best of 3 and come back later. You know what? Screw those people. You will stay, you will sit, you will enjoy. Because this could be the best LEC series we've had this year, nay, of all time since the LEC rebrand. You don't know how good this is going to be. You don't know how high this... To the LPL fans, Ultra Prime Rare Atom, think of those days.
Neću komentarišem u seriju, samo što kažem.
To the LCK fans, APK versus...
Bro?
Bro wasn't the same time, but put APK with like Iksu, top lane Alawi in the mix there. That's the potential we have here. LCS fans, put the majority of your teams in a matchup, and then that's what we're looking at here. For Shifters and Heretics, we're looking at bottom of the barrel. Crowd's already loving it. I mean, I think they're just ready to have the time of their life here today, Dagger. They bought tickets and they want value.
Yeah, the problem that I have for the Heretics bot lane is that like Zeri's crazy.
Tako. Ne, ovaj game, mislim da svaki komentar je suvišan. Tako da mislim da ovaj game samo gledam, ne znam, stavit ću traku, ono šetam, nemam pojma. Sljedeći game će biti baš dobar, ali...
At least he does have Nocturne moving down towards the bottom side, so we can try and help out. But I have a feeling your duck costume is going to do wonders for Paduk in this.
Oh, I mean, I hope he saw it. I mean, he didn't, but there's probably rumors going around the mill here of LEC that Paddock.
I mean, Heretics saw you earlier and just started bursting out laughing, so...
Oh, well.
That's probably
so they're in a good mood. I hope Shifter saw it as well. By the way, I cannot believe Paddock started with that. There's a lot of people going around talking about Doran's bow where, like, there's no HP for the lane. But I guess if the lane's what you're talking about, Dagda, where a Yuumi Zeri are kind of going to get poked out a bit, bro, you can start the attack speed item that just has more damage and more trading for free.
Yeah, and you still have like 1.5% Omnivamp on it, so if you're able to get damage down, you will heal. Plus, as you say, having the Seraphim beside you makes it easy, so I think it's not the end of the world here for Paduk. when so much of your damage is innately built into your attack speed. But this is the downside. If Heretics are able to find those all-in angles, you have less HP, less omnivamp compared to Ice as well. Had 2.5% on the Doran's blade.
Ja ne znam ko će ovdje pobedi. Znam ko gubi. Mi. Sad ko pobeđuje, nisam najsigurniji. Sljedeći game je Navi G2. Sljedeći game u stvari legitimno imamo nabadanje. Mislim, to stoji. Sljedeći game, okej. Znači, Navi G2 bit će nabadanje.
Just the most exciting rune because if you're taking Scorch, especially as a Rumble, you get 4 seconds of burn and you end up doing about 55, 56 damage at like level 1 with electric.
Moramo stavimo Patreon link, nov merch, novi dropovi, tako da jako good stuff. Sad imate svašta nešto novo na Patreonu, tako da pogledajte i to. Dok mi gledamo u Fiestu, Douglas će da preživi.
At the end of the day, you're kind of alright at Douglas. Like, Sheo burnt his flash to match your flash, so, and you got the crab, so Sheo will just now move up towards top side. So it's not the end of the world in the grand scheme of things. Sheo flashing the crabs there, but, yeah. I mean, sorry, going back to your Deathfire touch point.
Oh, yeah.
The other one that I have my eyes on is Senna with Black Cleaver. If you Q as Senna with having Deathfire touch, you immediately get 5 stacks of Black Cleaver because each proc of the Deathfire touch ticks up one of your Black Cleaver stacks. So I've seen a few pros practicing, so maybe we get it in the next couple of weeks, but yeah.
I mean, I do think, you know, because it got hotfixed on the 30th of April, it was 100% if you keep ticking on the champion. Yeah. And it got immediately nerfed to 75%. The Riot was like, a little bit too strong, I think. And completely valid because, like, I was also spamming that with a bit of Ezreal just in some like practice games, and I was like, Ezreal Q is a thought process with Deathfire touch in lane, if you land it, of course. Hard to land, but here again you see, there's Deathfire touch, Trayson's ticking down. When you get Leandri's as well, think about the stacking, and it is really nice with the Rumble. So far, I feel like he's the best champion that's kind of utilizing it.
Yeah, I think Brand is the other one that can use it.
Brand is annoying, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, pro games, seldom seen, but regardless, overheating, there you go. Tracing gets burned, he's walking away, and yeah, by the way, that damage is still ticking.
Yeah, so can't reset. So again, and Rooster's doing a great all time in this top side as well, because usually Jace is able to kind of use his range advantage to keep you at bay, but Rooster finding some good harpoons to actually close the distance and then get that increased damage off after has been working wonders. Douglas just here to protect his bot lane, make sure they can shove at the wave. So nothing too untoward early game, but just kind of getting to explore a little bit of what's happening.
Who was in the scene first?
Tako je. Dobijamo legitimno ono...
Well, mine came from the Irish god, Dagda.
Legitimno dobar game.
God only knows where Douglas came.
No, Douglas just copied you, didn't he?
Probably
Obviously. I'll have to talk to him about it.
Bio sam glavo i promašio sam 2 tačkice, moram da odem tu da rešim, sada će me tiltovati ceo dan, tako da brba 1 sekund.
For Seren, there you go, there's Electrocute. And Seren will just back off. Doesn't have TP, but he'll walk back to laners. Sheo, I think, just he's the comic this game. He's just gone for topside scuttle while he spams the moats. Both look at the level 6.
I appreciate that he's letting us know, though, what his next camp is.
True.
That's considerate. Because, you know, oftentimes I have to, like, really think through what the pathing could be. Yep. But Douglas isn't a crab, so maybe this is now a problem.
He's come out for the flea. Douglas has got a bit of AD buff now. As he starts going into lethal tempo, I think, yeah, Sheo knows he has to back away, so Scuttle just given over, as he wants it, obviously. But Sheo's not going to find it, goes to Grubs, rather Krugs. Douglas level 6, paranoia begins, eh?
Yeah. I mean, it does get a little wonky, though, with double global ultimates on the junglers, because it then kind of becomes a case of, oh, if Douglas goes towards a lane, you can have the Pantheon respond, because obviously Pantheon doesn't need vision to use the ultimate, and in a 5v5, it becomes a little bit easier to communicate where the Nocturne's going to, but... so I think this is going to be a kind of an awkward one for either jungler. I think it's more of like a safety net on the ultimates now, unless you've got a real clear win into some of these lanes.
I'm try and get something in the mid lane. And that would be the other side for the Nocturne, get the egg out. In fact, we're going to have a seat, I think. We're just warming up to what could be the best series.
Yeah, you told me this is going to be the best series.
I think it might be. I think this might be the best series. This is ultimate Fry's group. This is ultimate, like, I'm trying to think. When was the last time in LEC we had a series like this that had such huge potential at the bottom of the ladder.
I'm going to need you to clarify what you mean by huge potential.
When have you seen a series this good looking, where both teams are at the bottom, both out, 2 weeks before the season ends, and just potential anywhere, you know? I'll think, oh my god, that's free.
Oh my god, look at the potential.
Where's the cat?
Yeah,
that
Yumi on reset.
Yo, wait.
Yeah.
He got level 6 and he wants
But
to
this
run.
is the thing, like, you kind of start to link up with your jungler at this stage as Yumi, you know? You're like, look, we've had our fling in the bot lane, AD carry.
But he's
it was
not.
been a good old
He's
time.
going mid. He's ganking.
The ganking Yumi is not the most deadly.
No, the gleaming quill goes in a straight line. you can't move it. So, yeah, Wei gets a ward. But, I mean, to be fair, Ice is probably dead there anyway. I don't think that healing that much would
Honestly, I think it's just better that Wei wasn't there to die with it.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that was an easy double. Maybe that's what he thought. He thought, oh, Zeri's in the bush. We're going to get a free Yumi as well.
Yeah.
Standard starts off grubs. And first dragon hasn't been thought about. But I will say, surprisingly, I mean, Shifters, after that kill, have a bit of a gold lead. But that's also because mid's doing pretty well. And Sheo's going to take first dragon and we just handshake for game 1.
Yeah. Sheo's still very angry about the crab though, I've noticed.
Oh,
Spamming.
He's still pinging it.
Yeah. It's just every so often you'll see it go up.
Ne, nisam pobjegao. Tu sam i dalje, ništa se ne brinite.
There it is. I mean, it's not the Isma.
Jumize, čoveče. To je sve osim okej. Sve osim okej, ja vama da kažem.
That guy spams that so much. I mean, to be fair, everyone in League has their, what do you call it? Little...
Oh, they're like Twitch?
They're little Twitch. A lot of it is tab. I think mine is tab.
Yeah.
Where I press tab in League, but I don't actually check anything. And it's just information being blocked on the screen, so it's not really helpful. It's probably why I'm still bloody platinum or whatever I am. But other people have tweaks like pressing emotes, right? Other people, I think, I'm trying to think who else. Someone has like an X button. You know the X button that does champions only?
Yeah.
I've seen a streamer who does X, like they press X and champions only all the time. But then you got to remember to take it off, because that's the pain. Like, he's not even trading, he just presses it as he's walking the lane.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it does mean if any champion randomly shows up, at least you'll stop and auto-attack them. So
Ja sam odlučio samo da gripam život, očigledno.
What is a good habit is diving top lane as well, which looks like it's a bit top.
That's a bird coming in as well. Nuke can set up for the egg dive. Sheo first turret shot. Here's the wave finally. They're going to get the bird and the flash frost. I don't know why Trace and Flash there with 3 members up in top lane, but that's another kill going over this time to Nuke.
Nice roams from Shifters. Like, I think Sheo kind of helping out there, moving with Nuke. You'd like to see that synergy coming back together again and helping out Rooster on the top side. Because again, I think Rooster's been doing a fantastic job up here. Like, you were kind of already saying how good this new rune is on Rumble, but I think in particular, like, Jace should be able to bully this out, but Rooster's been exceptional for Shifters. Like, every single lane he seems to be going into, he just seems to be getting the better of people.
They were surprisingly good at the roadshow. If you missed that roadshow last weekend, like, Shifters leveled up. Despite not winning any series, they still...
Ne znam koliko ovo čujete, ali mislim da moram da podnežem traku. Što je fajn.
Although Fnatic are the best team, it's still like, and sorry Fnatic fans if you're still here,
Odo's
oh yeah, Odo's always here. Paranoia's going to come in. There's a crash down as well. Charm, but it's cleansed.
Okej, Zer Yumi. Zer Yumi. Zer Yumi gotet, hvala. 89-20, stats.
What a punish on top lane. Trayson is completely mitigated this game.
Yeah, Rooster are going to be in a very good spot now as well, because he's going to get some turret plates here, deny more of that CS. So you're kind of seeing this trade of, hey, bot lane getting very big with this Zeri, but Rooster also getting into a similar position. But again, I don't know how you're going to enable Ice thoroughly when you get to the rest of these fights with the lack of CC that's there.
Well, we'll find out. He's got an AE for Wisp Dagger, so we're going to find out, aren't we? Okay. I mean, that guy, that's Ice you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you have to watch yourself, you know?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Tako.
I didn't realize that's what I was getting myself into.
Today we're talking about Sheo versus Heretics.
Dobro, ajde malo suozbiljim sad ja ovdje, što kao vreme suozbiljim kako već to ide.
Also a fun little story we have.
Jace Nocturne. Jace Nocturne, Aurora, Zeri i
All his connections between all the different teams. You know, the
Rumble,
Yeti
Panta,
did
Nivea, Ash, Seraphine. U teoriji Shifters imaju bolji komp,
matchup in particular, just
ali mnogo zavisi koliko Zeri ima potencijala da nosi sa Yumi, jer mislim da su im mnogo nerfovali damage. Nisam igrao puno soloki, ali ono što sam video,
Can't get it off right now.
ovaj,
I mean, we were talking backstage. Could I
dosta je,
without the pants? And that was a different conversation.
dosta je smanjen damage, tako da baš ćemo da imamo kakva je situacija.
For anyone who wants to use their eyes for the next 10 years.
It was, the pants were kind of weird though, because they weren't actual pants, they were just like strips for your legs.
I mean,
They were
yeah.
bizarre things.
Oh, I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it did feel like, shout out to Hip Brain for this phrase, it felt like I was Donald ducking, you know? It really did. Shout out to Donald Duck as well. Hope Disney doesn't get us, Dagna. I mean, this is, look, you can't expect me to not rock up in either a duck outfit or be completely serious for Shifters versus Heretics, mate. I mean, I love it. I love being here.
Yeah. Glad you're here as well.
I'm just slow burning with this one because I really want to see some crazy stuff.
Well, we do have a static shiv at least, on ice.
That's good.
Yeah. Which, I mean, does make a huge amount of sense, because this is kind of what we used to see on Zeri all the time.
Yep.
Because it does mean that it's very easy for her to try and connect on towards the mid lane, like, I say, contest the mid wave, especially against an Ashe Seraphine. But also, like, she does have decent AP scaling as well off of her ult, but also the W scales off of AP. May have to use it here to try and get away with the slow, but yeah, I'm interested to see what the rest of this build is going to be.
They added a lot of mixed scaling as the all-in with Paranoia. Daggles just runs it in. Encore doesn't really do much. And again, Ice just gets a free hit. And he's got his uptime on his ulti. So the chase down imminent onto Sheo as well. Static Shift does a bit of work in the back end, but Ice just walks back to lane. He's 2 kills up. He's 1,300 gold value. I mean, the Yumi Zeri bottom lane is working so far.
I mean, a lot of that is thanks to Douglas. He's been doing some great ganks there. Trayson wanting to chase on towards this rumble.
Ne znam što će Zeri da radi, najiskrenije nemam pojma.
To where this Pantheon is right
Sve što sam vidio na Twitteru od ljudi koji u stvari igraju tog heroja, pošto ja stvarno ne volim da igram Zeri, govore da je previše nerfovano u damage, dakle će da umre za Drake, to je fajn. Pa dobro, mislim očekivano even game između dve ekipe koje su jednako loše, zar ne? Mislim da je to fair. Fair i fajn ako ništa drugo.
He didn't really stand a chance. Does give Trayson a little bit of time on this top side, with that TP coming in to at least get a play back for himself, and does even up that top lane a little bit, so maybe a little bit ambitious on the TP from Rooster, because you can look like Nuke, thanks to those kills and thanks to some of that early pressure, does have a lead in the mid, but it's still Ice, as you're saying, with that big gold.
You've got a clog of agility as well, so the gold is going quite nicely. And, you know, before this game, Dagger, I was looking at what the build path was. Like, we've had, you know, Static Shiv into Renans, you know, Static Shiv into, like, Hex Optics. Not always 100% sure on. Kazi's been playing this a lot,
I
actually.
mean, Hex Optics is just a very strong item.
It is. There's Cleanse again, but Ice, Oi getting away from the double beat drop. It would have been rooted down. I don't know if the Yumi could save him there.
This is where I kind of get most nervous for Ice, is like trying to contest these mid waves.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously the Static Shiv is relatively nice. As you can see, it does some damage, but not a huge amount. And it does mean that Paduk and Trimby get to move a lot. But if you
Ne znam ni šta će da builda, mislim možda uzme onaj
you don't have to cleanse. That
kad ulta, onaj crit item, bolts, jedino je to pada na pamet.
as well. So it does end up a little wonky.
Ali kažem, ova serija generalno će biti baš bolna, ja mislim.
Control on the solo lane. Nuke just gets tagged again. Oi, dodge away from the Flash Frost.
Jer obe ove ekipe su baš loše, iskreno.
HP is Daggles is hovering again. He's got his ulti. He's level 11. There's between worlds onto Nuke. Maybe a dive here with the Yumi on top as well. But the Flash Frost holds off aggression as Nuke. He's got egg. The only problem is here, you're gonna have to deal with the egg under turret. The flash away. The enemy
Dobro.
there, the arrow. Oh, hot damn. Daggles
Dobro.
gets to a cleanse as the Yumi jumps back and forth, but Trimmy's also
Trimby clutch. A ima jedan sam.
his burst won't get him out.
I Nuka ne mogu ispod kule zašto daju Niviju koji ima Eggform, brate mili.
As Heretics try
Mislim, zato su ekipe na dnu.
surprise, it didn't work.
Great turnaround by Shifters. Sheo managing to come in with Trimby now, looking for the play.
Door's not bad. Shield's gonna block some damage. Flash Frost again. They've still got that Yumi.
Da je Nuk prišao, da... Haha, koliko su loši. Ne mogu ljudi moji, ovo nije u redu, bukvalno.
God damn it. But still, like, yeah, I didn't mind this as much. Like, I like that Saren got, well, if Saren had hit the W there, it would have got the proc, which immediately would have taken Nuke to incredibly low. So this initial play, that would have been the bird dead, and then there's a little follow-up. But because Nuke ends up surviving, there's a ton more damage. Trimby does a great job getting in with this massive ultimate that turns it around. And with Douglas burning that Mikhail's, it meant there was no Mikhail's then for anyone that was caught with the Seraphine ultimate. And then overextending in response. Sheo just must have barely stepped out of range there to give Nuke the aggro.
Oh, Ashtai? Oh, enemy attack? Oh, thank you.
He's not wrong.
I mean, Trimby with that ulti, that was great. It does feel like his partner Symphony is playing the Trimbone. As a top side, now the focus, I guess, for Scuttle Crab, but Dragon is up in a minute 30. That's your next focus here. It's third Dragon for Shifters for the team, for the game. Third Dragon overall when Shifters looking for their second. There we go, we got there. It is still Ice. He picked up the Hex Optics, so it is a 2-item Zeri. Still very strong. There's Paddock in the same vein, but looks like he will be going for the Renans or going for the Finland Bolts. There's, okay, this is just for Gromp. Tracy not going to step up. But just because Panther to the top side does not mean Dragon is a foregone conclusion, as Arrow is going to fly. Pings are coming down.
Ok. Fajn igraš, spamuješ strele, to poštujem.
I do think once Zeri hits over towards the Infinity Edge, that's where it should be a bit more of a conversation starter. And at the moment it is kind of a...
Ali su boosterima. Da, ma ovo je, vidi... Mislim, Heretici su 1-7, Shiftersi su 0-7. Ove dvije ekipe su već ispale, nemaju šanse da odu u playoff. Mislim, ovo su dve daleko najgore ekipe u lecu. Koje da Iole Riot ima sistem koji bi trebao da ima, oni bi igrali relegacije i ispali bi iz leca. Sljedeći game će, kažem, biti mnogo bolji. Sljedeći game u stvari gledamo, mislim, sljedeću seriju gledamo G2 i Navi, što je super.
Going IE on certain champions, or this Hex Optics build has just gone so well, because you don't even need to be long range to get value from it. Like second item, it just spikes so hard.
Yeah, you know what else is going to go great, Dagdo, is the Dragon. Let's go. Let's have a stab. I think Nuke doesn't have Egg. Will it matter is the biggest question. As third with boots and 2 items, and who is about to get Rod of Ages 10 stacks already is feeling pretty good. Shifters have to move into River first, though, as Team Heretics will start the beast.
Yeah, still, this is kind of where Heretics can just look to poke as Shifters come through. They need to find some sort of pick or setup here.
Poke's not really doing too much damage here from Trace, and all in from Roos to find Saren, Electro Harpoon, and the burn down. Saren at half HP. Paranoid turns off lights, encore there. There's going to be a bit of a steal from Shifters. That was so easy. Paranoid now finally going in, but Douglas, I think you're griefing, son. As he runs for his life, they know that the damage is not going to be enough. There's a re-ulti here. Sheo dives into the back line. The Yumi ult will slow everything down, but Team Heretics just leave. Just leave. You're not winning this fight as they lose the only member who's going to die overall.
I was actually about to praise Heretics for how they played that. Like, crazy slow. Even the ultimate from the Ashe dodged away by Tracing. Meant there was no real setup.
Now
we can praise Heretics.
Nice.
Okay.
Na Wardu se recallovo, tako da... Dobro, Ice polako razvio damage, nemam pojma, ima 4 killa, možda nosi. Ako je Zeri Iole, ok, ovaj game bi trebao da možda iznese. A vidi, znaš kako, Vitality stvarno ima dobru priču, Vitality i Navi su dobri i KC je dobar, trenutno. Kad kažem dobri, mislim za evropske standarde. G2 bude dobar kad uđe u playoff, tako da oni će isto biti fun.
Tracing ends up dodging away. He then flashes the encore from the Seraphine, which makes this fight kind of just done. Like, there's no real way for Shifters to follow up, which is why they're backing away. But Douglas kind of rage engages afterwards, which then sets up for the Pantheon to follow through. And at this point, there's been so much invested to try and already disengage that Shifters managed to pick off Tracing. And again, I think Tracing did a great job at the start of that, dodging the Ashe ult and the Seraphine ult. But then Ice sees someone back on an award.
Nice.
And it's like, that's enough.
That crashed out. I mean, it was a lot of burst, but a little bit extra AP in the static shift. That's going to do it, isn't it? As I think Fiend Hunter Bolt's coming third here. So, just wait and see. And at the very least, Dagda, so far...
I was gonna say, is it not Runes? Am I misremembering?
You're probably not. You're work harder, don't they? They both build. I mean, the problem is they both build out a slingshot, you know. So it could be anything.
Yeah.
Really, could even be an Infinity Edge, and we just sit there. We never upgrade it.
But still, yeah, I think either way, like, a lot of this game for me was Heretics relying on we get early leads and try and hope for the best. They got one in bot lane, and they have been trying to play around it relatively well. But unfortunately with that Dragon, I feel like we're now going to start to see the game shifting over into shifters having much more control over it. Yeah. You've got nice ways to try and look for engages, especially as Paduk's Ash ult is just about to come up, and Ice doesn't have his cleanse, still has the McHale's.
Waiting over the wall, gonna be safe.
Tako je Vučo, je, samo da gledamo sljedeću. Mislim, današnji dan bukvalno samo svi čekamo, gledamo drugu seriju, sve ne laže. Jer realno, vrati, ne može niko da sedi da vam priča ovdje, ljudi, baš odbudi meč Heretika i Shittersa. Mislim, aja se ne laže. Tako da ovdje se gleda, mislim, šta je meni samo ovdje iskreno interesantno? No troll, su mi itemi. Ash Star Doran's Bow, Rumble koji ima Blackfire Touch, to je Torch. Kao eventualno da vidimo nešto novo zašto je nov patch. Pa je taj deo interesantan. Koji je najlakši način nabustiti account do level 30? Pa kupiš XP boost, brate, nema drugo. Kupiš XP boost i onda spamaš šta god ti najzabavnije. U mom slučaju to su arami, ali zavisi od osobe do osobe kome je šta zabavno da igra. Ne znam šta je s Douglasom koji s paranojom dajvaju ispod kule.
Yeah, I think it might just be the Baron for shifters. They have so much damage onto this thing. Trace in, trying to get some poke, but you've got the...
Oh, my leg.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've even got the honey fruit there as well. So I think for shifters, this should be an easy take. Less easy turn, though. They don't really have the tools.
Nuke is standing, though, so deep in the brush. He dodged away from Trace's shock blast. Baron's still going down, and look at the Never-Year ulti. Nuke close to dying, though. So
Straj 31.
Trace still can't find the shot. Nuke the poke, yes it lands.
Racing kuva žbunu kome nema nikog jer vidi 5 protivnika ispred njega, ali nema veze. Ništa, Heretici, tier 1 sprint na Drake-a rade zmoje. I win za Heretike, ali kažem, jako, znači obe ekipe su baš loše. Možda bude interesantno sljedeći game da pričam o tome zašto su loši. Mi se čini kao ok razvoj prenosa, ako mene pitate. Kao zašto su ove dve ekipe 1-14 zajedno? Rumble ulti je dosta bitan i bit će wastovan. Zeri mi treba da uzmi jer manje se healuje. A Ice bi mogo da ne frontline-uje kao Zeri, mislim, nemam pojma šta ja znam, ja sam samo jedan AD carry. Ko njima zeznut komp u stvari. Problem Heretika je što Heretici nemaju klasičan frontline. Nema niko da step upuje i da soka damage. Sheo je prefidan. Ima Death's Dance na Pantonu, to nikad ne bi trebao da ima. Da li to se može iznenaditi Partizan? Pa, teško, brate. Znaš šta je problem? Da je best of 1, rekao bih da. Što da ne, brate? Mislim da svako može da izgubi best of 1. Ali sada kada kreću serije, mislim da u serijima niko im ne može ništa. To je fora. To ti je moje, to ti je moj take.
I've started listening to audiobooks of Terry Pratchett again.
Oh, okay.
And Death is basically the most, like, hopeless character when you listen to him. Where, like, people are like, this is a really tough life. It's like, that's life. It's like, oh. And I go, well, yeah, fair, all right.
Not wrong. Oh, we could really go into the philosophy, but I have a feeling there will be a fight coming up. Good Flash Frost again, and that Crystallize is annoying. Seren, he has to go between some two folds. Not the Hex, but he has to go between two folds just to get out of there. Ice is looking to face check. That Baron's still in question. Shifters are hovering, but not really bothering, are they?
I mean, what do you do? You've seen what the engage is, and it's Douglas presses or and goes, all right, let's hope for the best. And there's very few people that can follow him. Like, it's him and Ice hoping they can find a pick, but Shifters have set up good vision. They're not really separating. Like, Rooster is literally just sitting beside Paduk here. As a weird barnyard animal.
Sad gledamo EBL quali.
And that's all they're doing.
I mean, yeah, there are some barnyard animals in here, and there's a cat in the mix. You know, it is that old meme. You've got a rooster, you've got a duck, you got some cat. Like, what does a cat do? You don't. It doesn't make milk.
Is that it?
I mean, unless it's for the young. You don't make milk, right? You add a bit of Freddy. I'm sorry, but if you have a cat, that's great. Good for you. Like, Medic has cats, you know, and they look like they're from an Egyptian pharaoh, and they're great. I love them. But, dude, if you have a dog, you know, like, dogs win, guys. I'm sorry. Dogs win every time. Even pet ducks, I think, would clear. Yeah. I would always love one, but apparently there's a lot of droppings.
From
ducks.
Right? That makes sense.
Hard to clean up. Yeah. Hard to clean up. But, any vegetarians listening, as meat, they clear.
I sve nam je best of 3 ovdje, tako da nema šta.
Disassociate. Rooster with a flanking angle. And with a volley. Oh my god, that guy got crushed. Way doesn't get to escape. Because Seren jumped over the wall. That's why you get a dog.
Do you think the buddy's going to wait for the cat?
I don't think so.
What do you expect to happen here?
I mean, bro, where is the camaraderie of the animal kingdom? Shifters are going to start the Baron and take it. And Ice was a bit too overconfident running into about 7 years of chain CC.
I don't think he meant to. But this is what I talk about. Like, Ice cannot contest midwave because there's just so many engage tools. There's the cleanse, there's the McHales, there's everything else, and like,
Seren
would have loved to way out of there.
I mean, Seren, he played Spectator League of Legends. And I guess there was a, like...
did you just see what happened to Ice?
I did see what happened to Ice.
If I'm Seren, I'm like, do you know what? There may just be
give the cat
Nema, Heretici. Znaš šta mi, još jedna stvar, mislim, što ti tiče ajde ove specifične partije nije mi jasno. Braća moje draftuju kod da su ti van. Ti si 1-7, Shiftersi su 0-7. Draftujte neki simple front to back, uzmite tenka, stavite ga ispred svih ostalih i klikćete dugmiće. Či razlog zašto Heretici gube odnosno na Shifters ovdje je zašto Shifters imaju Panteona koji ako ništa može stane ispred i uradi nešto. Kao to je to. Činjenica da imaju tenka im samo... Ice, vozi Ice, vozi, send it. O, brate, pogodi ku, molim. Nema veze, Ice, malo opušteno, brate. A, mislim, kaj sad, brate. Realno, ku, kapirate. Favorit sa njemu sad, znaš da nemam ideje, brate, nemam ideje, iskreno. Znaš šta je problem? Što ja ne mogu da stignem da pratim LCK i LPL. A realno favoriti neko iz LCK ili iz LPL-a. Jer fora je što ja kastujem u prosjeku 6 dana nedeljno. Radim EBL 3 dana, radim LEC 3 dana. I onda bukvalno pored toga streamujem svaki dan, skoro. I onda nemam kada pratim LCL i... LPL i LCK, pardon, LCL. Nije LCL, ne pratim. Jednostavno nemam kada. Tako da ja vidim internacionalne ekipe tek kada krene MSI. Do tada, ništa. Mislim, MSI generalno istorijski je kineski turnir. Tako da ide s tim što si ti rekao, BLG legit favorit mi je okej. Generalno Koreja dobija Worlds, Kina dobija MSI. To je neko nepisano pravilo LoL-a. Pogledajte koliko ne mogu da igraju. Zašto što nemate tenka, braćo? Možete budete 1-7 i da igrate komp koji u stvari zahteva da razumete kako funkcioniše League of Legends. Da, ništa, nam ima Shifters je pobjede 2-0, gledamo G2, mislim da to play.
Rooster just gets to walk down the AD carry, and this Rumble is dealing so much at this stage.
He runs back in on 100 HP. He's like, no, Tracer uses rotation. And yeah, the Nuke clears. I mean, Nuke's and Nivea has also been super clean this game. Shifter should have this in the bag. Yeah. Don't look at gold. It feels fake.
But the thing is, if you look at the gold, like 3.7k onto Zeri, most of the time I'd be happy.
Yeah.
If there was like a Scion,
but he can't
or a Sejuani and a Maokai, and like these kind of things that can play frontline for.
But he can't play.
No.
Every time Ice goes in a fight, like we saw the pop-off is, by the way, he is full build bar, that one item left remaining. But I think Paddock is more influential because the chain CC, everyone on this team is either a slow or a stun. And playing as a Zeri now that you don't have cleanse for another 20-30 seconds and a Yuumi with the bell down makes your life near impossible.
Yeah, also, Heretics just ran towards top lane, which means that Shifters get to take this mid turret for free.
For free?
Yeah. So I think this is just kind of done for Heretics. Like, the poke doesn't poke anymore because of the Ocean Soul. The Baron's in a minute 50, which Shifters are opening up the base without even worrying about that. I think Shifters can just dive turrets in a second.
He's eggless, he's level 18, he's getting poked out, but as he goes golden, that equalizer, that charm right down the line is perfect. Dagger's going to go to Jazz. Between Worlds not bad, but Seren does nothing else with it. Half HP, you'd say, yes, Shifters are in trouble, but Ice can't step back up. A little bit too scared to get stunned again. There's another pick. I mean, Douglas is running in, hoping someone will follow.
Yo.
It's the only way they have to try and find picks. And, like, I know it looks wonky, but it's literally all they can do. And unfortunately, Nuke wasn't isolated. Shifters were all just around the corner. So it's kills again across. The pushing topside still happens. And with a minute now until that...
Majs mora sam da izda. Skoro je full build ako ništa.
Right now is like the Uber Eats driver on foot. He's sending it right. But as he goes in, he's isolated. He's looking for the address. He's looking, where do I drop this bag off? He's taken ages.
He's looking for the address.
I was like, why is the Uber Eats guy on foot?
I mean, that is the thing you get. That is the thing you get.
He's just legging it around town.
Paddock ima pravi build.
You do get that. And to be fair, I'd do that as well. Put it on my backpack and just run.
Majs mora da eja na long wall.
He gets over the wall. He's safe for now. Sheo gets movement speed to follow up, but Paddock isn't going to send the arrow because he doesn't have it. As you know what, Elder flip for game one. Let's have it, I reckon. You know what, that would seal the deal.
Prve dve ekipe su samo bolne za gledanje, najozbiljnije. Bilo dobro, možemo fast forwardemo na Navi G2. Jer za G2 je u stvari bitna serija, mislim, G2 ako izgubi od Navi, izgubi sljedeću seriju od koja postoji šansa da ih Fnatic prestigne u lecu i da G2 ispadne pre play-offa. Što je bila katastrofa. Jer G2 uvek dobar u play-offu, ali ako ne dođu do play-offa, kako mogu da budu dobri u play-offu? Realno gledano.
Now down. Team Heretics are on the side of the Elder. Problem, it comes up in 2.5 minutes. They're going to paranoia between Wells from Seren. Damage not there yet. He gets stunned as he tries to jump. He's dead. There's the paranoia. Douglas just sends it. He knows it's over. As Encore catches
Samo su izgubili game. Si Majs radi damage. Ko trče u njega i tankuju, Koven će ih pobiti sve. Ili jedan kroz bot ili Barona.
Shifters would just move towards Baron. I was going to say, if Ice just continues to take the wave, Shifters can't really end, but Nuke is going to try and take that wave anyway in the mid lane, and maybe give some options here for more as the Baron goes down, but you can see how difficult this is for Heretics.
Oh yeah. This is like as if it was realistic with the Urukai, you know, there's about 300 of them and like about 4 or 5 people fighting them. You know who's going to win that.
Legolas every time.
I mean, look.
Wait, who wins between Legolas and Gimli in the competition?
I don't know. He's got little throwing axes that you don't really talk about.
Yeah.
I'm reading the two towers now, and Shifters are going to find Ice. He gets over the wall. And much like the writing of J.K. Rowling, sometimes I get confused by what's going on. Shifters are going to run in bot lane. Ice is too far away. He's going to back. It's going to take a while, but with it, the inhibitor turret will go as well. It's a slow burn.
Yeah, Ice has kind of just been denied entry to his base.
Did I say that two towers, J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, you did.
J.R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it makes sense now. Hey, it's a strange game. We're going to give me this one. Nexus turret under threat.
Just a duck, man. What do you want from me?
Dagger calling me out. Everything's happening here at the LEC arena in Berlin. Shifters are going to get one. Now the
Ice.
Holy crap.
Ice. Ice. 4 na 3. Ice. Ice. Ace'ovo ih je. Njih, Ace'ovo ih je. O, Penta, šta je ovo? Ne znam kog je ubio. Kvadra. Akina. Mislim, full build zerije sad mora da radi. Sad ako ne radi damage, onda džabe piko heroja, bukvalno.
So Ice just gets to heal up throughout this fight. Massive stuff from the Heretics AD carry.
That is a mosquito from Southeast Asia. That's a big sucker. 11, 4, and 3. Full build. Ice isn't even level 18. Not that it matters. 6,000 gold just about. They built the Zeri into the draft, and by God, are they going to try and make Shifters pay for it?
Yeah, this is literally just revolves around, do Shifters kill Ice?
They are going to get Elder.
They will get Elder.
They are going to get Elder.
And that makes Ice significantly more dangerous.
That makes the game for Shifters not over.
There's no world Heretics bring this back.
I think Heretics are going to bring, I mean, Arrow slows the game. Good spell shield from Douglas. But Elder's gone. Elder is gone. Press the fire alarm.
See, this is what happens with Shifters. Every time I'm like, they're not actually a bad team. Like if you look at the early game, they do stuff well, you know, they actually set up on the map well, they're doing
I Guardian, Guardian je tokovitan, iskreno. Ali i dalje relativno losable game, Zeri nosi jače nego Ash, pogotovo kad ima Yumi.
So now, the problem I see Dagda is G8, cleanse not up, flash not up. That's a bonus on the side of Shifters, right? I'm talking about the Zeri, but the bell's there. And Moonstone Renewer, and yeah, the whistles go with it. An Ardent Sensor, like... This Zeri doesn't have to deal with a hard tank this game. So, with the IE, it is kind of free pickings. Now I'm worried.
Yeah. The Mortar Reminder also pretty good into the Seraphine.
Yeah, anti-heal, yeah, the Seraphine,
So the thing is, again, like, you saw in the last fight that Ice nearly got kind of like three-quartered one shot in the fight. And then Shifters weren't able to follow up. It's still my biggest concern is like out in the open like this, where Shifters have multiple angles of attack, how does Ice get protected? And that's the kind of big thing that's rolling through my head. So unless Shifters just cannot find a way to get on towards Ice, I think Shifters are still okay. Like, Elder's gonna wear off. You haven't really got anything as Heretics. You don't have the Baron to play with. So the Elder is just gonna fizzle without really doing much, unless Shifters make a mistake here.
I am worried though, because as Nuke steps up without Egg, I mean, a mistake is, well, getting caught.
Yeah, but there's also like this massive wave in the bot lane that Sarah now has to go and deal with. So this push, with 30 seconds left, you don't really get to do much. So we're still kind of in this same position.
So we're going to go to 50 minutes is what you're saying?
Yeah. No, we won't go to 50. We'll go to probably 2 minutes.
Koja budućnost je bila šta Zenin svetla? Pa Nikola dosta zavisi, mislim. Generalno e-sport je nekako imao tu zlatnu eru nakon, to jest dok je trajala korona. Jer su svi bili kući. I onda je bilo onako dosta lakše da sve to raste, bilo je mnogo veća gledanost. Također su i bilo i mnogo više sponzora, jer kao gdje će sponzori da šalju budžet nego na online stvari. Onda nakon toga kad su svi izašli nakon korone, svi su bili u fazonu realno, hoćemo da budemo malo napolju. I onda je to sve otišlo sa online na offline i tu smo sad u nekoj tamnoj zoni e-sporta. Sad zavisi, vidi, ko zna. Gdje će to sve otići, kakva je sve to situacija, niko ne zna. Kako counterovati Mel? Nikako. Mel je beyond broken here. Šalim se, mislim sad je mnogo lakše da igraš u nju, Ice je živ. A mnogo lakše da igraš u nju sad, zašto Q možda i dođeš kad si na max range-u. Ali u suštini samo moraš da igraš oko njenog rebounda. Mimo njenog rebounda ona je bukvalno i mobile mage, tako da. Tako je iako se lako ubija samo kad nema zonu. Baciš nešto, baitaš zonu, kad baci zonu da samo kolapsaš na nju i to je to. Ili eventualno samo igraš split, nešto što može da je izvuče u sideline i da tu možda igraš oko bukvalno svega, jer opet kažem imu bila mage. jaka je kad stoji, kad možda stakuje, ali također može šotaš, mislim. Međe na kraju dana. Trn na Panteona. Uvijek opad naleti. Mislim, ima i toga da... Ti na zimi od e-sporta imaš Worlds. Mislim, vidi, meni je okej, ja zimi radim Signaton, ja radim onaj stream gde donacije produžuju trajanje streama. Ja u decembru svakako streamujem streamujem non-stop konačno Game 1, good stuff. Tako da ono, ja sam ceo decembar, možda nisam ceo decembar, ali u decembru radim Signaton, streamujem, pa kako prođe, prođe. Ice je morao da iznese ovo, nema šta. Gledajte opa, pa mislim... Vidi, Partizan da je igrao u bilo kojoj sezoni IBL-a uvek bi bio prvi. Tako da zavisi kako to gledaš. Ali bilo kako bilo, nadamo se će Shifters uspjeti da pobede i game broj 2. Ja idem na istu pauzicu koliko igrači, tako da 10 minuta pauze. I onda se vraćamo sa, ja se nadam, finalnim gameom ove serije, a onda konačno gledamo G2 i Navi. BRB sam ja 10 minuta.
Law's off camera, you can't see now, but as it swings over, how are the friends doing, Law?
Yeah, I want to know actually, Nuke. What did you miss the most about Sheo?
I mean, his blonde hair, I missed it, like his eyes as well.
No, in game, Nuke.
Oh, yeah, I guess his Drake stacking. That's nice.
Yeah, no shift today. What happened? Zeri is a bit cringe, no?
We barely had a shift. Yeah, Zeri, I was a bit surprised. Like, she 1v5 basically, but I think it's kind of, you miss specific. This champ is kind of crazy, but yeah.
Well, worked for you guys. Let's see if you can make it happen. I'm going to let you join your lover or teammate backstage. Yeah, Sheo is back. It's working for Shifters. What do we think, guys?
Sheo is definitely back.
He is definitely back.
Wow. I mean, you mentioned it when we were discussing the game, Odo, that the early game for Shifters wasn't really the problem, I feel. Like, it was never really something we were criticizing them for. It was just that transition from that early game lead into mid-game control. And admittedly, we were going to come in and say, wow, big difference Sheo has made, but then the game got zeried, you know?
Okay. Vedius?
Yes.
The throw was not in mid-game.
Okay.
It was in late game.
Yes, it was.
I never said that the late game was perfect for Shifters. But
true.
The mid game was great. Nuke said it himself, the Drake stacking, it was there. That's what he missed the most about Sheo. And exactly, early game was always fine. He finds the kills. He's just been active on the map. You know, even his predecessor was doing the same. But when it came to mid game, the Drakes were there. They had good Drake setup. He was facilitating everything for what they needed. But then the Zeri incident happened that kind of threw everything on its head.
But I do just feel to kind of focus a little bit more on this early game, just because I felt like Sheo's impact to me was a degree of confidence that I feel like we haven't seen from Shifters before. I think that my expectations for this team coming to the split, or into the year even, was when you've got Trimby on the team, you've got a strong voice, you've got a leader. But I feel like that we haven't been seeing that from them. The difference in this game is it almost feels like that now there's an extra voice, there's an extra leader that helps them decide when to fight, when to go in, when to make these decisions. And it's a little bit of a shame about his KP, because for most of the game, he had like 90%. It just, when it got into the late game fights, things got a little bit more chaotic.
Zeri happens.
And this is why I think this is a great match, or like a match for Sheo and Trimby, because when I played with Trimby, he was always the little voice in the back of your head. He would always narrate, he would say everything that is going on, but he always missed someone that was willing to pull the trigger for him. And that's where I feel like Sheo is coming in. He comes in, even in the previous time when he was on BDS, I felt like he was the one who was always pulling the trigger. He was the one in control and setting up everything. And with them working together, that's what I'm looking for, high hopes for Shifters.
And that's what he was saying when I've talked to him backstage and during the interview as well. The fact that they were lacking decisiveness before he rejoined the team. The fact that with Trimby, he would be able to bring more control maybe. So I feel like, I don't want to say puppet master, but maybe making sure that every right call is followed and that they're not going all around the map. I mean, except late game, but that's going to come later.
Yeah, and of course, like, given that this game or this series has no stakes behind it, both teams eliminated from playoffs, it's supposed to be an indicator of what we can expect in summer. And it's only a single game, so eyes are still going to be glued on whether or not shifters continue this way. But I think the other thing that this game showed us is, number one, Ice has still got it, right? And number two, Zeri is a champion worth talking about, because what a surprise to see her come back and have a performance like she did.
Listen, we have an expert AD carry, former pro player in the LEC, ladies and gentlemen, who had some very strong takes about Zeri coming back. Let's talk about Jack Spectra and what he thought about the champion, because for him, it is not a champion. It is garbage.
Zeri is garbage.
I quote.
Damage is way too low.
Well, this guy
I like
doesn't
the
know what he's
idea of
talking
making
about.
her faster and deal less damage, but they went too far.
You know what's the terrifying part about this?
Wow.
If he is right, old Zeri would have just massacred everyone. That's the terrifying part.
That's
because
true, yeah.
we saw her jump in 1v5 at the Baron. It took so much to hold her back, and maybe, sure, if they didn't have that flexibility, or if she didn't have that mobility, she would die. But if old Zeri was here, this game would have been on its head.
Okay, hot or not? What do we think? Because even Nuke was saying, yeah, Zeri, sure, problematic, but it's also an effect of being paired with Yumi, which I believe.
I think the temperature is increasing. I think that it is getting hotter. I think that I'm still a little tepid on how strongly I feel about the Zeri, but it's promising. I like seeing new AD carries in the meta. We don't love seeing Yumi come back, but as long as it's in small doses, I think it's completely fine.
You like Zeri in the meta?
The question is hot or not, and I think that in terms of the meta, yeah, man, I've seen enough Ashe, I've seen enough Ezreal. I need new, I need more flavor.
Listen, here's the problem.
You have so many
cool.
problems.
I mean, I do have a lot of problems. I paid for way too much. So the problem with Zeri is that when Zeri's in the meta, Yumi's in the meta, you cannot have one without the others, even though you get to pick, Vedi.
But it's fearless, brother. I get it for one game, and
yes, but you get both of them. You get the demons in one game. Because you won't get the good parts about Zeri without the bad parts about Yumi.
Hey, but maybe it brings back other champions. Maybe it'll evolve. Like, I want to watch back a little bit of this insane Zeri Yumi gameplay. Why don't you break it down for us, Oda?
Yeah. Zeri Yumi goes burr. Okay, so
that's your analysis.
Nice.
Yes,
Zeri Yumi goes
I'm happy.
And we got the clip of it dying.
That's
another wolf. Nice.
I was expecting the clip of her 1v5ing in the base.
No, this was the other one. I'm happy. I'm so happy. As a top laner, I'm so happy she just jumped in and missed 4 auto attacks.
Oh, okay.
Because it's deserved. It's deserved. You cannot have all of that power without the responsibility.
It's true, you do still have to aim your auto attacks. Okay, I was expecting the base defense play, which is what I was kind of setting up for, but fine. It's fine. We can focus on the misplays from the Zeri. We're not going to see any more. Oh, we do have it. Okay, that's good. This is the one I was hoping to get, because I think this is just a great demonstration of, well, the idea behind the changes was she's faster. I don't think this necessarily showcases how much more speed she has, but I think that it does showcase that late game Zeri still very much has a lot of damage.
And the dangerous part about this, why I feel like Zeri might come into the meta, is because if we think about Fearless, game 1, game 2, it's always enchanters. There's not a lot of lockdown. Most teams are just playing for, strong laning phases.
Seraphine,
exactly.
Lulu,
There's not, junglers don't really lock you down. There's just Zinzao, Pantheon running around. Most of the team comps just have only one source of CC, and we saw it in the clip. Michaels came in, pixel perfect, and all of a sudden the Zeri was unleashed.
Zeri is back. For now, in Fearless, so it's only going to be once this series, and Shifters won the first game, so let's see if they can close out the series for the first time this split, or if we're going to have another shift yet again. See you soon.
Ulten, därför but it with the paddock. Look,
They're getting totally Jess is on top, guys, but look at Rambo position. I'm walking. Yeah.
This is good. Very nice.
From behind.
Good job.
The poke, Roy's in trouble. Eyes flashes over, crashes down. Oh yes, he does.
Let me try.
Wait, brother. Let us break this instead, brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother?
Perfection.
A new champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
The whole room was howling.
Howling? Oh. That's not howling, buddy. That's...
Did you steal the LEC trophy? Okay, you can close it.
We're back after what was a conflict of events over on Team Heretics and in Shifters. I mean, what was game one for you?
I mean, I think Trimby summed it up pretty well in that little feedback session, saying, nice montage, bro, to Ice.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was Ice trying his damnedest to carry that game, and unfortunately not having the support tools that he needed to do so.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what the plan is now for game number 2.
I mean, look, their lane looked good, and then Ice and Way got a bit of attention from Daggers, and shout out to Daggers. The early game was really good, but then he just kept diving in by himself because he had no other choice. Saren and him didn't really sync up on those ultis in the team fight, so now we see what they can do with game 2.
Yeah. Also, the desk dunked on Jack a little bit. I want to give him a little bit of praise, because you know the way you asked what was the highest gold lead ever for an AD carry.
Yeah.
If it's not against Senna, because it was Senna's all that,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
not
that
farming
doesn't
stuff.
count.
it actually belongs to Mr. Jack Spectre.
Really?
With a 10.1k gold lead as Draven versus Patrick Faris. So,
really?
you know what? The man does have some AD carry chops.
What
We got to
the
give it to
hell?
him. Yeah.
But hang on, my read says Mr. Spectre, not Spectra.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the guy from Suits came
Well,
on.
and also, like, we all know he's really Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
So
he is Tom Cruise. I haven't asked him about Katie Holmes. I don't know if that's still going on. Is that a thing?
Lad, I don't know anything about celebrities.
I just know he jumped on a couch once and got really excited.
Yeah. I don't know.
If Tom Cruise is watching this, lock in, because this is going to be a really good game to enjoy for you. Imagine this is the game that he watches and goes, it's a good game. I can't do Tom Cruise's voice. There's Faris first pick.
I was going to say, that was the worst impression I've seen of Faris.
I don't think he really has a memorable voice, you know? Where like John Travolta's like, oh my God. There's John Travolta.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of... Do who?
Smeagol.
I can't do it. At least it's a reference people would know. I mean, if I say John Travolta, people here who now play League are like, who?
Yeah.
They have no clue. They have no clue about Saturday Night Fever or Staying Alive. Great movies. One of them starts with him walking down a street.
Mate, I think even I'm too old for those movies.
I mean, yeah, they're in the 60s, but you can, you know, rewind a bit. Now,
I don't have the tapes.
Ezreal and Bard, as Dagda buys a video player, is just going to match the range from the bottom lane. Yay or nay?
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
And also, Bard presses Or on the Varus, and Varus goes, oh no, there's a big temper fake coming, and then he dies as soon as he gets out of it. So it does work out pretty well.
But Nico, new concept. Let's get a strong support in response.
Or if there's two Varuses, how do you know which one to hold?
That's right.
Genius.
If you're not keeping track, you're done for. Now let's keep that brain train going.
Okay.
Junglers. Xin Zhao's open. Wouldn't that just be fun for a game 2 between Heretics and Shifters?
But see, if they pick Xin Zhao, I'm going to be really sad, because in solo queue, all I'm seeing is AP Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like Hextech Broad about Xin Zhao, I'm seeing Riftmaker, I'm seeing Dusky Dawn, I'm seeing all these cool AP items, and it's going to be an AD going Thunder Sky and Black Cleaver, and I'm going to be like, bro, just let me see the
But they're
really
in a capsule. You know what has to happen? Korea has to play it first, and then it'll follow.
To be fair, it did only come out this week, so they've had like 3 days to play.
And you know, like LCK and LPL, I'm pretty sure it's either yesterday or today. Might have been yesterday.
Today, I think LCK was on us. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was watching
0.9.
Fear X play. Yeah.
Ambessa has been picked. You cannot see it. It's not an invisible champion. That would be a great way to release a new champ. Except it would be unfair, because in pro play, can you imagine Shifters are like, wait, there's a brand new champ we've versus for the first time, and we have no idea what it does. No, it's a Seren. It's a Seren Ambessa, but probably going to go top lane. Draft has been broken. We're going to do this by memory for you. Now, Wukong has been locked in the other side. I can tell you, LeBlanc is about to be banned by Shifters as you get your visuals back.
Yeah. I imagine you're going to be like Renekton ban, Nara ban on the top side for Heretics.
From Nuke. Is that an Azir from Nuke?
Yeah, probably.
Come on,
yeah.
I know you guys want your first win, but come on, man.
To be fair, though, the mid lane didn't get too funky. Like, I think it's less on mid laners that I'm looking at, you know?
So it's more on mid lane.
It's more on top.
The only thing that funky was Azeri Yumi, which actually, when you go down the list of funk, doesn't really hit the top 10 in charts.
No, they kind of broke like top 15, but never really got to top 10.
They're like, you know, the other songs from, you know, the people who sing "Do You Remember?" You know, 21st Night of Fire. Yeah.
I couldn't name you.
I mean, what's another song?
No.
That's right. That's the other song. That's Zeri Yumi. The Earth, Wind, and
They're
Fire.
one-hit wonders.
There you go. Or like Jam, who sing what's that Zoom song?
You're taking me down weird
I don't know. It's been a strange start today already. Renekton gets banned. That is going to be an Ambessa top. Most likely they are shepherding it for top.
Yeah, especially with the fact that you're banning the Vayne and the Renekton kind of signals that you want to take it top. The thing is, though, you do still have the Nara available. So even with that, I think Rooster still has champions that he can go towards, so I think you're relatively fine. And you also have the counter pick at the end, right? So they're keeping that for Rooster to make sure they really know where this Ambessa is going before they actually commit to anything.
Picked Ari. Let's go to Lysandra. Seren, thoughts? Thoughts on Lysandra? What do you reckon here?
I mean,
take a bad lane.
Syndra isn't terrible either.
Yeah.
Liz technically can work as well.
What about an Echo?
Dive. Echo would be funky. We saw it from Leader yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, he just kept ulting every time the Azir ulted, but you're not running into an Azir this time. Come on, Seren. Yeah, you know what? That's something different.
I don't know if it's great though. Like I've seen that would be good.
That would be good.
But no.
So this could be Heretics' last game of the split, and they have gone with the old Skana and Bessa Annie comp.
Yeah. It does have like insane CC wombo combo with the mid jungle. That could play a factor, especially if you compare it with the Chains of Corruption. So if you get caught, you don't get to move. Shifters, though, very good at moving when you've got an Ezreal and an Ahri and a Wukong and the Gnar and Jake collapsing onto the floor in disgust.
Oh my god. Like, I came here to rock and roll. Yeah. I haven't even rock bagged up.
No.
This is not even a roll.
I mean, we did have Medic absolutely lose his mind yesterday.
I evo nas u Game broj 2 ove serije. Navijamo jako za Shifterse. Draft. Shifterse je verovatno bolji. Mada boga mi nije ni Heretikov draft loš. Mi su obe ekipe skapirale grešku. Da ne trebaju da igraju stvari koje zahtijevaju previše skilla i samo trebaju da igraju linearnije draftove.
And you know how smug he is. Like, it's terrible.
He's blowing smoke, yeah.
Exactly. And it means that he's going to keep going on about how status Shiv is terrible and, like, these things are bad. And then it's just going to be him kind of just sitting there on his golden throne because he thinks he's better than us, as usual.
He thinks he's so good, you know. The same guy that plays one deck in Riftbound, by the way. If you want to know what that dude plays, he's just an Azir.
He's an Azir.
For anyone that knows.
Yeah.
If you don't know, just think. He's one guy, he's a one-shot wonder. No, I'm not talking about League, I'm talking about Riftbound. Oda, you're okay.
Yeah.
You know, you did a lot for us in H2K.
Title as well, so.
He also, H2K got semis.
Yeah.
Who else got there?
Yeah. I mean, he won a title with Rogue.
Yeah, okay.
So he is actually also a one-hit wonder in-game as well.
There you go, Oda. If you want to come up and respond, you can't. The door's locked. Now, let's get into game 2. Heretics and Shifters. Can Shifters get their first series win? That's what's on the line here today. Heretics are on
I Shiftersi budu 1-7. Faktički ne bi bili zadnji, bili bi predzadnji, tako da...
And look, this is an ode of farewell to both these teams, really. Even though Shifters tomorrow have MCoy, which that could be a bit of a wipeout. But also, it might not be. I mean, Shifters have shown that they've got, like, a little bit of funk going around as well, you know? Like we saw in game 1.
That's the thing, like, I keep getting baited by Shifters where I'm like, okay, this is a team that can do some stuff. And even you were saying after last week, like, they had a good time in every and really showed what they're capable of. And then you look at the scoreline, you're like, you've yet to pick up a series win. Like, it feels like a team that should have at least a couple, but just constantly fall apart in the mid-game. Now, as Sheo come back into the roster, maybe that is what has cleaned up, but here against Heretics, they're just trying to see if they can finally put one in the W column for themselves. Whereas for Heretics, I think, especially for Douglas, like, I think you kind of want to show your stuff again, because I don't think, like, this is not a dig at Douglas. I think he's very good. I think he's just had an unfortunate entry into the LEC pretty consistently, because, you know, he came in on Vitality to replace Bo, when Bo...
And I don't think he was that bad on Vitality.
No, he was good,
like, he developed really well.
Exactly, and then Vitality brought in Linces, which, obviously, Linces has gone and done absolute wonders for them. But it's just that, like, it's not like Douglas was playing poorly. It was just that situations end up sending him back to the URLs, and now he's come up again through Heretics playing the main roster as a kind of gap fill-in as well. And it's just unlucky because I think Douglas is an exceptional player and like one I'd like to see more of in the LEC.
Jadan Douglas.
Hasn't really had the opportunity to...
Inače, ovo je full troll za vas koji niste pratili LEC. Sheo je igrao za Heretike, dao je otkaz u Hereticima i switchovo se u Shifterse. Shiftersi su 0-7, nema neke velike razlike. A Douglas je došao da filuje umjesto Shea u Hereticima. Tako da je bukvalno samo fiesta na sve strane.
Into lane once again.
I wonder if that means we will see one of these more AP-focused builds, right? Because they've been kicking around. There's like a Triforce into Manamune Actualizer build. There's a double tier build that's making the way back.
And now there's a ganking man. Flash in from Trimby, nice angle. Ice is going to flash as well.
Ovo je kill. Yep. I on je mrtav.
Trimby's going to die, but hey, it's worth as way gets out of the way.
Ovo je fajn, ako crashuju wave sad okej su. Čujem mi, Skarner bi vjerojatno treba da gankuje sa Halo Blades, što je van svake pameti. A Ezreal je uzeo Deathfire Touch. To je ono što isto moram da probam. Deathfire, Touch, Paran, Tier. Jer možda uzmeš bow i 2 pota. Što je također interesantno. Pa su bar neke stvari malo izmenjali.
To the last line of creeps, can't really get into position for it, which is why then Trimby ends up stepping forward here, ends up taking the extra auto in the queue, so ends up giving his life. So it's a nice attempt, but just couldn't quite make it happen.
Wave does get crashed in a little bit here. Ice is looking for the next, but as Paddock is trying to defend his march. Remember again that this guy still hasn't based, so he went back early, got the tier, still holds on to TP advantage. Ice came back with a long sword and a tier himself. So now the stacking begins as jungle attention has shifted elsewhere. A Skarner around Raptors, a Wukong around Krugs, and a mid lane with a tension that can't really do anything as Seren is playing it mega safe here, and Douglas just goes for a drive-in, but McDonald's is closed, you know?
Yeah, I was hoping there'd be a little stun from Seren, but I think he realized he was going to run out of juice before he got there, so he's going to back away, go for stop.
How often do you try and go over to something like a Reaver or something in Berlin and forget it's Sunday? Does that still happen to you or not?
Oh, no. I gave up a long time ago.
Okay.
I got to the point where I started making my own bread because I got so fed up with not being able to get fresh bread on a Sunday.
So, you're so annoyed, nothing's open on Sunday here. Yeah. You started making bread, which to be fair is cool. But that's the limits you go to. Oh my God.
I just wanted some fresh bread, man.
So, I mean, that's today. So are we keeping you from making bread right now? Is that what you could be doing at home?
No, because basically you have to put into the fridge, let rise for a day to 2 days. So
for the people at home who probably, some of them probably need to, start making bread.
Yeah.
How would you start that? How would we start that?
You look up a recipe and don't trust anything.
Ezreal ima Deathfire Touch. To je nova runa koja je izašla pre nekoliko dana.
So very tangent. First time I tried to make bread. Obviously it's in Germany, I don't speak the language. So I tried to buy the yeast and I'm following this.
Sad su im novim patchom. I suštini ta runa ti kaže kada pogodiš nekog sa spelom, on gori, znači brna. Radi mu damage i ako dovoljno dugo taj burn efekt traje, povećava se damage. Također burn scale od AP-a i od AD-a, tako da ne znam, ok, jako je fleksibilna runa.
Yeah, cool. We're going to have to learn. Now production, by the way, is asking him in his ear more about the bread making. If you want to, @DagDaCast on his socials.
Yeah.
He'll give you some advice. There's dragons up. Look, we're thinking about dragon, but we're not strictly doing dragon. That wouldn't be cool right now. By the way, Paddock does some damage. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys, Deathfire Touch, abuse this. As he has a Sheen, I don't think it'll be a Lich Bane. I don't think it'll be a Dusk and Dawn.
Neće ići Trinity Force.
Most of what I've seen is you go Triforce and then it kind of starts to splinter off. So it's you still got your 2 core, your Triforce and your Manamune. There's some people that are going for the Horizon Focus as the 3rd item, and because your Q's hit from so far away, you can proc the Horizon Focus. And this all comes back from the new AP scaling that was changed. So he's really strong when it comes to the AP scaling.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite abusive. I mean, the minion wave clearing is super nice.
Yeah, especially with the ults. The ult does a lot of damage.
Ja, ali znaš šta je fora, Davide? Ne znam da li si probao. Ako uzmeš static shield na timu, da li ga prokuje?
Endless Hunger and Shojin, his Q is on such a short cooldown that literally you hit a Q, it procs your Q, and you just get to clear constantly, so it's not too bad. And you're still
tako da ne znam da li to radi.
The wave clear, which isn't ideal. If you are going for the AP build, it's just the scaling is really, really good. And especially when you can have which is the other build, the double tier build where you can get Seraphs and your Manamune, you then become very safe because you've got the shield proc from the Seraphs as well, so you can play much more aggressive in fights. And your W and your ult, especially the ult does a ton more damage if you can hit it onto multiple people. So it just changes slightly how much you can kind of kick off a fight or poke in a fight with the ultimate, while still kind of staying at the core, still a very strong spell weaving ability, or spell weaving AD carry.
Yeah. I mean, Ezreal feels like he's in such good state. Feels like he was already pretty strong and just added more. That's why he's looking for the roam onto Nuke. Charm's going to connect. Try to force out Nuke to either get the ulti or a flash, but he's not going to press either. And again, remember that dragon's still up and waiting. Thoughts are now towards the grubs here for Douglas, who's just going to AoE the camp down.
Ode Ice. Loš ult od pedaka, ali dalje kill. Static prokene run. A, okej. Pošto ne igram tima, pa me kao generalno zanima... Generalno me zanima interakcija. Onda dobro, opet static sa AOE E-om zvuči prilično dobar na timu, pogotovo što timo voli AP i attack speed. Deadfire kaže... Pazi, ali kaže dealing ability damage, jako je čudno da mu je ne proka Deadfire touch. To je baš čudno da ne radi na timu ove.
I just like when everyone has fun and we can tie every game.
And sometimes you're just like, oh, well, we tie for the weekend. That's okay. It's not pointless, because it does give you a point inherently. But yeah, shout out to the people that remember that one. We are lulling a bit as Trimby's going to get ulted. No, he's not. There's no ult from Ice. Tempered Fate, it hits. And now Ice is in trouble. He's got Flash, Magical Journey, or rather Cosmic Binding. He's going to be dodged away from, but Ice is now summonerless as his Chains of Corruption come back up.
Yeah, I feel a little sorry for Ice there, because he was doing the correct thing of staying the hell away from the wave to make sure that he could wait for Wave to come back into this bottom side. Trimby, though, just ends up wandering into that bot bush and spots him. So now, summonerless, we'll have to see if there's going to be some sort of play towards that bottom side, because Wukong ults is about to come back off cooldown, and now Ice's wave is about to bounce out.
Shifters are in a great spot. I mean, and Trimby confident enough to kind of leave Paddock for a bit as well. He backed off. Looks like he's returning to the bottom lane, but still kind of expect some of those roams towards mid with objective timers once again. See if he can unlock Nuke, and Shifters can move some of this pressure across the map. For now, things are going to chill out. Again, those objective timers way offers are the only lane we haven't really been talking about, because, you know, mid's been chilling, bot's been fighting, top has been good. Rooster's been getting some plates for himself. 3 plates versus 5. Rooster, even though he doesn't have a massive CS lead, that's where he's getting the extra 300 gold, as he's abusing the range matchup versus Kraken.
Yeah, I think Shifters just try to make sure they can force that play on bottom side to push out, and then get some deep vision, maybe contest some of these camps as they're respawning, but nothing really respawning in this bottom side at the moment.
Sheo wants to come in over the wall though, Magical Journey, okay, Trimby's just going to get out. Man, let's send it a bit, yeah?
But there's nowhere to send it to. I mean, like, all of Sheo's camps are down,
send an
so he's
email
not really
then.
doing anything.
I mean, let's see. Charm flashed away from there we go, see? Shifters delivered. Heretics on the back burner, going to find Trimby. Against the wall, Impale flashes back into the brush. Magical
U suštini ovaj... Znači, da postoji razlog što neko u ovoj draftu ima, zašto mislim da svi u Hereticima i Shiftersima se plaše za svoj posao. Sad ovako, pričam s ljudske strane. I jednostavno ne žele da budu ti koji su trolovali, jer onda još veća šansa će biti benchovani. Tako da mislim da trenutno pošto se ispali, svak gleda samo da sačuva svoju poziciju u lecu, bar još jedan split. Jer nisu male pare. 3 meseca igraš u lecu, to je 15 evra minimum, znači to je minimalac. Tako da mislim samo gledaju se sačuvaju, da igraju safe. Nije im bitno da pobede, bitno im je samo da ne budu kikovani. Znaš šta je fora, Davide, ali brand passive applya Deadfire. To je bullshit, ako mene pitaš. Mislim, nije, tako bi trebalo, ali treba biti imao je onda. Brand kad te peca s jednim spelom goriš sat vremena. Ajoj.
Tracing a little sad there that the Mbessa ultimate got the uptime to 0.7 seconds. Yeah, would have really liked that one to connect.
Oh man, game diff. Otherwise he would have had that in the bag. Yeah, poor Tracen. I mean, shout out to Tracen. I really think this guy has been impressive, and last split was under the radar. Look at him, gets a flash out of Rooster. fact that he's doing decently well in this lane, I mean, it kind of speaks to the testament of this player. He has been the best member of Heretics by far. He's just been in his little island.
I mean, Ice has been pretty good.
Ice has been good, but tell me again, in the start of the split, in the first 2 weeks, when Heretics looked a little bit uncertain, tell me that Trayson wasn't the most solid all round.
I think he is very good. I think he is solid.
He plays weeks. He plays a myriad of different lane assignments, you know?
No, I think he is solid. And I think as well, when it's only your like first real foray into the LEC, like getting that time to grow and play against some of the top players is always going to be incredibly valuable.
But yeah.
So I'm excited to see what he can do as Ice takes a good chunk of damage.
So dagged up.
Sorry, I keep just tossing my eyes towards Paduk's.
Dobro jeste, mislim da, tehnički možda pogodiš Shea. Ili kad baciš W na kripa i baciš Shea, pogodit ćeš sigurno protivnika, ne možeš ga promašiš. On je outplay ovo, nije outplay ovo. Ovo je dobar, nije dobar Tempersit, u stvari je spasao Douglasa, ako ništa. Kuli dalje ostaje nastakovan, ali je Serin samo preuzeo agro. Šta radim? Dobro, shiftersi su sad napravili solidan throw. Probat će da vrate gold kroz bot, ali je pitanje iskreno da će išta moći da urade.
Heretics last game, they're going to make it go all the way, or at least they're going to try to. Gold down is nice. Rooster not too far in the lead. Trayson doesn't get the kill. Over the wall, flash. Oi!
Wrong way!
Sheo tried to predict it, and he went the wrong way. Two-shot rise dodged by Ice. He's out. I think they thought he was going to flash towards mid lane, but he went towards way instead.
Yeah. I mean, this game is kind of starting to get a little bit hectic again. We're seeing a lot of cross maps, some people getting caught out. Sheo, though, going to use that pressure that he got on towards Ice, knowing that Ice really can't position for a contest over towards the Rip Tower right now to start that one up. And we're just getting people catching on sidelines. So I think it's going to be this kind of back and forth. People mostly looking towards, okay, taking in the mid lane tower with Rip Tower for shifters, and for Heretics trying to stop this dragon stacking that has come through so far.
Herald goes down, Dragon's not up for a while. By the way, left side of your screen, that is going to be a banger. Holy moly, have you...
Sljedeće nedelje, da, to je isto dosta bitna stvar. Znači sljedeći vikend je road trip i ono što smo gledali u Parizu, gledat ćemo u Španiji. Što mislim da je poprilično gotivno i... Mi će biti dosta interesantno kako je Španija. Da li kaskaju za Francuzima ili ne, aj tako. Tracing isto mrtav. Pa dobro, Heretici nas... ispoštovali su nas. Trebaju da bace game lepo, da možemo odmah na drugu seriju.
Nuke was styling on them there. Well played by the shifters mid laner. Double charms, getting that flash away as well. This was clean from the Ari, because as this starts off, Trimby, huge turnaround off the back of this as well, because you get the move away. The ult onto Skarner means that then Nuke is able to follow up here. Dashes forward to get the kill, flashes, uses his ult to reset that he gets off the kill to then dash away, but here's the play on bot side.
Now fighting Rooster, he has the ult, he gets it into the wall, and Seren walked up to him, and little did he know Rooster was going to smash him to a pound. Herald gets the charge, he is dead. Yeah, Wade's going to take the kill, but it is still 1-for-1.
I got a little nervous there, because he walked back over the Malignant's pool on the ground, and I thought that might have been enough to kill him, but Wade will be the benefactor of that one. Still, kill on bot side, pressure top side, shifters again playing the map well in this one.
Nuke's can open up top as well. Does mean a bit of extra goal value. Shifters for 2 dragons, 2 minutes to go. And all I can think about right now is how sad I am that Paddock is going at Manamune.
No, these are the 2 core. So you always go try
so
first
we do. You are leading me to believe something else.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So then what, sorry? Then what?
And then you get funky. So then it can be like Horizon Focus, it can be the Seraph's Embrace. There's a lot of flexibility on it afterwards.
Znači mi još radi jez. Mislim, Trinity u Normanu sigurno je ko što je rekao, ili na Seraph ili na... Pa, ja mislim da ide na klasičan AD build, što je najjače. Jer mislim da u Skarnera ne isplati si igrati AP.
That's a lot of damage from the Wukong.
Yeah, Saren kind of just disappeared on the back half of that. And now Way, trying to see if he can come across, has Trayson to help.
Okay, this
Shift just collapsing.
It's going to brew because Sheo doesn't have the ulti. He gets out, does a bit of damage on Trayson, who's running out. Roos is about to go into the Meganar. He flashes in, ulti's back Way, right into harm's way. There's a house for him too. And on his retirement, now he has to watch Team Heretics get caught out. Change corruption, pretty good. Trimby poked out, but even with a good impale, a stun up, Douglas can't move. It's getting iffy as Team Heretics getting some damage back, but Shift is still in the Joker's.
Bravo, Shiftersi, bravo, ajte, imate ga, verujem u vas. Verujem u vas, pobedite još jedan game.
Shifters are consistently playing better on these fights. You get the immediate collapse on Saren. The damage from that Triforce proc on both Rooster and Sheo doing a lot of work. And then as that TP comes through, you can already see the collapses there for Shifters. So even with Sheo without the ultimate, Heretics very split. They can't really get into this fight. Ice doesn't want to try and push in, which means Shifters just get to chase people down. Tracing using the public execution to dodge away from the Tempered Fate. But even then, like, Ice still gets caught. He's in an awkward spot. You've got Arius come across, and Nuke again playing just in the edge of so many of these abilities from Heretics in the fight.
I don't know what the hum was at the start of that fight. You could hear it, couldn't you? There was a hum going on. A champion ability.
Ajde, pedak, dobro, znaćemo još malo što će raj. Pa da se vrati nazad, kupi jedan item da znamo šta builda.
I thought it might have just been the Tempered Fate noise.
Got a great idea for a new champion. Involves a vacuum cleaner and the Teletubbies.
We don't need to become Pokemon.
Well, I can write it down for you after this. Life-changing, right? Call me. I'll do the voice for it as well. I've got a good Teletubbies voice. There's Dragon and Baron are both up now. Trimby has to be careful because Douglas has found an angle. But Shifters are kind of caving in through the top side now. And Shifters with the lead. The question is, can they close it out? As Trimby is going to face check. Pop Blossom. They're using a lot for this. Tempered Fate.
Dobro. Trimby flash nazad da umre, okej. Ovo se nisam nadao, pedak ne zna šta radi, nema veze. Oni su komitiju samo na jednu stranu i to je to.
Nuke actually ended up moving towards that mid lane to push Ice back. Means that he's not so that then he could try and move into the fight, but Trimby's just the one that dies, and it's a lot of TPs that are used.
To the left, to the left. What are you poking at, Dagda? What's on your screen?
I just wanted to use this one.
What? Yeah, that's it, that's the one. That's what's happening, isn't it? Well, that still exists. You know, I put it on there about 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we just haven't taken it off.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty wonderful.
It is great. I mean, that's the most cardio that man's done in a while. So. No shade, no shade.
What do you mean? He was a big fan of his treadmill.
I mean, dude, that treadmill, that's what I mean. It's been a while, it's a treadmill. That's right, you can say something mean about me. I didn't mean it. Okay? We're okay. We'll talk about this later. Dagda. Hello. I'd like to enjoy our time here a little bit longer.
And I'm glad, because I don't think we can leave yet.
I mean, no, we're not going anywhere. We'll be here the night. But I just want to see Team Heretics with some fire, you know? If they end the split like this, it'll be a shocking way to end. So, come on, sons. Let's get together. Baron, pick...
Da, Ezreal, mislim, s Ezrealom se najviše varira, ali kažem, mislim da je, evo, iš. Završio mu roman, uzeo je tir, uzeo longsword. Šta je to? Cyril the Archangels? Mislim, nisam siguran na šta će ići, iskreno.
It's very easy for Sheo to move from mid to side lanes with Trimby, and both Trayson and Saren are pretty vulnerable to ganks. And unfortunately for Ice, he just can't really contest in the mid wave anymore again because of the amount of control the Shifters have. So you can see it right here, right? They just consistently get to push mid, and then they just drift into Fog of War. They've already got their vision control set up here and here, so it's very difficult for anyone to really move into those positions on the top half of the map. And Heretics, like, yes, when you reset, obviously you can move in and get some vision here, but it's not really doing too much. Like, Shifters should just be able to clear this out once they come out to the map.
We'll find out. You know in the Chinese broadcast, you know, watching LPL, Tempered Fate, gonna get the turret, Trimby and Paddock, they got the burst here. Ice not caught, Change Corruption miss. Teleport gonna come in as well. There's a Charm just out of range. Tracer maybe at angle, Magical Journey, Public Execution, where is it? On to Trimby, there it is, max range. But now he's walked into a Paddock. Is Trimby at half HP, maybe still okay here for Team Heretics. Charm chase. Seren, he can't reach. And Paddock is just here off the side throwing cues. There's a Meganar on the side as well, and Team Heretics are probably going to back off after sending a lot in. You want to change broadcast? There's just random times they don't talk for 10 seconds.
No.
Do you want to try it?
I don't know if you're capable of that.
It's nice, isn't it? Never experienced that before. It's nice. But usually you say something meaningful after you come back from the pause. Instead, that was just that. It's a strange series. It's a strange kind of day, isn't it? You know? I think...
Just said in my ear that we scared them because they thought they'd lost audio.
No, sorry. Just testing something.
It's like the football, you know, where they just kind of, they chill out.
They do, they're banter.
Rooster to top lane.
I mean, we could bring in some...
Paddock to mid.
Yeah. Space and spacing, well, good
Varus dying?
Nope. That's way. Predabot won't get him out. Yeah, Shifters. Oh, they got him against the wall. He's dead. That is...
Goal! And then you get really hyped. Yeah.
That is not the way. Trayson. Charm. Oh, connects. Nuke. Sneaky snake. Roos about to go mega. And guess what? They got Seren in the meantime. Just ran over to die, I think. And, yep, he is dead. Rooster tanking. Tip is helping. He is Meganar, so heal from the extra health. Team Heretics looking for the chase. It's Douglas. It's Ice. Can they find it?
Nešto shiftersi, sve ok.
Rooster's going to run out as well. Ice gets slowed and it's just a slow
Bootcamp div.
It's because like Heretics keep trying to like chase down plays every time because they think, oh, maybe this is where we could get some kills back. But every time they do, there's just someone in a different lane that's taking towers. Like the last time it was Rooster was pushing in top, didn't take the tower, but got at least to start cracking away at it. And then mid, you just lose the tower to Sheo there. So again, it's Shifters playing at the map better. I know they got 35 seconds until Soul. They're already entering back out. Seren has TP.
I Paddock ide na
Shifters will get to enter river first and make it kind of difficult for
Endless Hunger ili na Serildu. S ovim Warhammerom može oba.
Soul point. 20 seconds. Baron for the victim, potentially. For the loser, nothing. Except shame. Team Heretics are going to approach. 15 seconds. Ice sends out poke, it doesn't land. Paddock with an angle.
Oba.
Flash. The connection.
Šta je ovo bilo, vi?
Gets no one. Sheo spins, gets everyone. Paddock chased by Tracer.
Paddock živ?
Gets out over the wall. Heretics at last stand will find none. As a GA from Tibbers is not bad, but Paddock is still going in at 100 HP from an angle. Suppressed down. Douglas gets a good ulti. True shot barrage. Hits as he's running away from Tibbers. That's Paddock with an arcane shift. But Dragon Soul is still going to be found and taken by the rest of Shifters. It looked good for Heretics, only because they were kept out of the...
Giga Broken Drake na Wukongu. Ok na ostalima. Na Wukongu je baš jak.
There's a second tier.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we're going to get there.
Well, I don't think we're going to get there.
But either way, nice. Like here, honestly, this is kind of a decent setup from Heretics because you kind of get to separate the fight. Ice can look to poke. But it's Trayson that ends up going in too deep, doesn't get the kill onto Paddock. And Paddock does a good job of trying to position himself here to threaten Heretics. Nuke, again, great performance by him on the RE. Ends up getting caught, gets the kill, thought he would be able to get the dash away again.
Oh, Seren's dead. That's a TP. He's dead. Rooster's just going to auto him down.
Does
yeah, you think
Rooster
there's a stun? I don't think Rooster does. I don't think he has enough damage.
30 seconds on Seren's ult.
Holy moly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was close. He goes Meganar though, and that's just going to get rid of Tibbers. 50 gold, an extra bit for the kill. Rooster gets a solo, 6-2 and 1. And now Sheo's engaging through midway. Pop Blossom, he's got no flash user before. Impale on Sheo, but I think it's late. He's going to Cyclone again. You just brought him in. Sheo, yes. Is he going to die? No, because Nuke saved him, even though the charm misses. Looks for a second follow-up on Douglas. Well, in the meantime, a public execution gets a private death. Shifters will run it down mid, and Doug, I think we can finally say that Shifters are going to win a series. They're split. Hallelujah.
I mean, it was a long time coming, but honestly, Shifters have played this series incredibly well. They will turn over towards the Baron. And honestly, everyone played that really, really well, because you kind of highlighted the front part of this fight as Sheo goes to the engage, gets the setup, Wei tries to get the ult, But keep your eyes on Tracing here. Ends up dodging the tempered fade with the public execution to get onto Paduk. But Trimby then gets this flash stun onto Tracing here in a second that stops him from being able to really do anything up against Paduk. And then the rest of the fight...
Da, samo čekamo Galahad, ovo je waiting room za Navi i G2, mislim, šta? Navi G2 sljedeća partija, u stvari banger, jer G2 mora da pobedi. Iskomplikovat će sebi dosta ako izgube, ajmo tako. Mislim, G2 igra one tamo nedelje sva 3 dana, ako se ne varam. Ali imaju KC, Koi i Giantse. Tako da, mislim, G2 ako izgubi sad, zadnja nedelja će biti kritična, iskreno.
Shifters, this was a job well done. You said already, Hysterics, but the first win of the split in almost our last game of the split. I mean, it felt like a long time coming after last weekend, but it looks like Shifters might have just done us.
I think Shifters are going to avoid the Origin Special of 2017 and make their best of 3 record just a little bit better here. Tempered Fade on the turret. Wade's coming in with the Pop Blossom. He finds a clone and one on Sheo, but gets instantly deleted. Seren comes in with the Tibbers after the Protobelt. Chains Corruption don't connect either. As Seren flashes away to his base. The rest of his team is dying. It's Douglas given a reset and a charm over to Nuke. He follows up on the Isaac, gets brought back in.
Iskreno su nam učinili uslugu. Izdvanično s ovom partijom Heretici su najgora ekipa u lecu. Shifters imaju isti skor, ali u međusobnom susretu par neće biti zadnji ako ništa drugo, tako da ekipa Shiftersa uzeli su im junglera, sad su im uzeli predzadnje mesto. Imaćemo, ako se ne varam, 14 minuta pauze. Tako da vraćam se i ja. I onda gledamo konačno G2 i Navi.
Top 4 laner, like, yeah, he's so good, and considering they're a bottom 2 team right now, that just shows how good Rooster really is, as they've got one more series to go. That'll be against MKOI on Monday, on tomorrow, and we'll see if Shifters can at least get a second win on the board. It'll be a hard ask, but I mean, look, revitalized team, it's really nice to see, because they were head and shoulders above Heretics, and they only looked like they were going to lose game 1 of their own making. So, yeah.
Yeah. We are going to see a bout from Heretics, though, as that is their last series here in spring. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite find the success that they were hoping for. But, yeah, I think mostly looking towards summer is going to be the name of the game.
Yeah, and I hope they give Douglas another shot as well, because he didn't have enough play time. He's a good jungler, but as we throw to the stage, Thor and Betty are joined by Nuke. Yeah, Trimby, it wasn't bad, bro. Hey, Trimby, it was good, mate. You're good. You're good, mate. Hey, you're a lovely man. You are a lovely man.
It's not quite stage, but it's stage adjacent. And Nuke is in fact here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
No shift. 2 won games in a row. Better late than never.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it was kind of expected. I mean, at least we expected this.
Yeah.
Heretics is not in a good form, and we just changed Sheo. So we already have this dynamic to just play better. So yeah, I'm happy with today's game.
So I want to kind of go back in time a bit.
Yeah.
Because BDS, that was kind of the version of you plus Sheo. When we saw that roster, it was pretty consistently, for a time, competing for top 3.
Yeah.
Right? And then we saw changes happen, and obviously you didn't quite find the same level of success. And obviously the rebrand from BDS to Shifters and where we are to today. So now that Sheo is back in the roster, help me understand what you think the process for you has been going from that BDS into Shifters into now.
The process, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think we had such a, like in 2024 at least, we had such a good, I don't think we had insane individualities.
Yeah.
But our group was so like, I mean, we were happy to play together, you know, and I think that changed everything in a team. And as a just individual player, how you can show your skills, it changed everything. So yeah, we have Sheo back, and the process was, there was a lot of changes. It was mainly like, in the past it was mainly like 5 voices kinda, just trying to play good together, making calls together. And the changes that was made, I had, like for me, I had the position where I was a kind of leader, which I think I'm not the greatest at.
It's fair enough.
So yeah, 2025 was like special. Then 2026, I think, is just like following, just a normal follow of what happened before. But yeah, we have Sheo back, so
Yeah.
so good.
Do you feel like Sheo being back is first lifting off that pressure of your shoulders, being a leader, and also do you feel like it's gonna emulate the same vibes? Because you were saying maybe you were not like the top players in your role at BDS, but you worked well together. Is that what you're chasing here with this roster?
I mean, since he's back, like I'm more happy. Obviously, like, this is kind of my best friend, so I'm happy that I have him on my side. Yeah, like since he's back, and also he changed a lot the way he plays, like in communication and everything. So I think he stepped up to really, really like a lot compared to how we played before. So yeah, that adds a lot. Plus the friend aspect, everything just makes it really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to think about you two just coming back together, but obviously you've had very different experiences since you've been gone, different results as well. But in the same way that you've had to fill this leadership role, he had to be responsible and a leader for a lot of different younger players, very different skill levels as well. So it must have been a very different experience. And I'm very excited to see the changes that we now see, because I have to imagine that you two playing together, there is some of the same, but there has to be a lot of differences in how you work together now.
Like I said, I think he also kind of had the same role, which I think he's not the best at, like me. So in his team, right? So I think it's like if you had like a lot of weight in how you have to communicate and how you have to play, and if we get back together, it's like, you know, it's like if you train harder, if it's easier, it will be even lighter than before.
Right.
So that's how it feels right now. So yeah, I'm happy.
Hell yeah.
The power of friendship.
The
Sometimes
power
it's
of
work.
friendship.
Yeah, sometimes that's what you need, and I feel like you're both being very realistic as to what didn't work, both personally and also together. So what kind of team do you aim to be? You're going to have a lot of time to think about this, of course, before summer, but like, what are you aiming for collectively?
That's a good question. I mean, we didn't really think about it. I mean, we know in summer we want to do, like, basically we want to go full all-in mode and just be the best possible individually and together. But apart from this, like, since spring is over for us, unfortunately, yeah, we'll just think about it and have just a precise plan for summer.
I have one last quick question for you, which is, so you've beaten Shifters, good, but we know this week you also beat Vitality.
Yeah.
Right? So now, against Koi tomorrow, give me the confidence, give me the speech. You have to believe that you can play upset here, because you can do a lot of damage if you beat Koi tomorrow. How realistic do you think that is?
Nothing to lose.
I mean, I think Koi, it's mainly if the mid laner can match Jojo. I think that's how it works, because he's only, with LEC, only the consistent player, I think. It's kind of unfortunate I'm not in my best shape right now, but yeah, with the power of friendship, like Sheo and me will do everything we can to at least get the last win of the split for us.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah, we'll just enjoy play together, play against them.
All right.
Do our best.
Final thoughts on Sheo. He's the key player of the series today. How do you think he's going to match up against Elioya, actually?
Yeah, this matchup happens a lot in the past. In different circumstances, but yeah, I believe in my boy. I believe he will beat him. So yeah.
Yeah, you got this.
Yeah,
you got it today. So and no pressure. So hopefully it goes well for you guys tomorrow. Merci beaucoup, Nuke. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. It's gonna be Navi versus G2 Esports. Stay tuned.
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express and game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
It's been close to 2 weeks since we have last seen G2 on the Rift here in the LEC, so let's check in on them and see how they've been doing. For everyone who's still riding the first-hand hype and calling them the second best team in the world, which, come on guys, we know we're gonna be doing it for the next 5 years or so.
Back-to-back 3-0 victories over the LCK. Oh my god! 3-0 bro, 3-0 bro!
Boy, do I have some news for you, because in the most G2 esports fashion, they have done the thing that they do best, which is randomly drop games in the most ridiculous of ways, to Vitality, and even worse, to Fnatic.
Dynasties crumble and Fnatic are the spearhead of the revolution of spring!
Sitting currently at 3-2, the worst is yet to come as they are heading onwards to facing the toughest opponents the league has to offer in our Madrid Row show next week. And while it's back to being about caps and friends, which for now is just Skumon, G2 is still looking at Broken Blade to return to his top-fathering ways. Since it's the regular season and we already got fooled way too many times, we're not going to ring the alarm, but they will need to start clawing their way back to the top form from winter, and their ascent starts today with Navi.
What a great recap of G2 esports season so far. We see them entering the Riot Games arena. Yeah, it's sunny outside. finally in Berlin. And yeah, they're back. What do we think of G2 so far?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, the recap is fantastic because it highlights right now we have mixed feelings about G2.
As always.
As is their regular season. Of course, we're not going to doubt them just yet because as they get closer to playoffs, they tend to ramp up, especially with the road shit on the horizon.
He's not allowed in.
Yeah, that man on your screen is definitely the player that a lot of criticism is being levied towards right
That's
now.
why he's bounced out.
As his performance in the top lane has been very shaky this regular split.
It has been shaky, and it's extremely important because everyone is looking at G2 and saying it's regular season and they're going to ramp up. But they're finding themselves in the position where they're ramping up against the toughest opponents and even ahead of Navi today. Next week, if they drop the ball, it's going to go downhill. So it's extremely important that today against Navi, they do lock in and show us some of the influence because we haven't seen them in about 2 weeks or so.
And I think for Navi, they showcased a lot last week. We saw them play 3 back-to-back games, and they showed highs and lows.
Yeah.
We had criticism about their draft, we had criticism about their ability to end games, and based on our conversation with The Rock, it felt as though they were trying to do different things, but the best version of them is still Relech on a carry, Mainter on a tank, and everyone else just providing role player to best enable him. So in their last game of the regular season with a lot of weight potentially in the back, because they can lock top 4 with a victory here today, I expect them to go to what works in order to get that top 4 spot.
And that's the thing, they entered the split with, again, The Rock saying we want to go away from being this one-dimensional team, we want to be able to play more. I don't feel like they've succeeded in being more versatile so far, and that's their last chance to prove that either they can do it or they're going to go back to this and then we're not going to see them for ages.
Exactly, it's such a weird feeling because they're at the top of the standing, so I should be extremely excited when it comes to them. But again, they haven't really developed so much. It's still been about the Drakes. Every time they try to expand, they go back and fall into this pattern because if we remember last playoffs, when they got into playoffs, that's when teams figured them out. And today is still a great chance to show us what they've been cooking, even though in the small turnover between the events.
The question ultimately for me becomes about the jungle matchup.
Yeah.
How can Skumon and Relech match up? I think that Skumon, regardless of the inconsistencies, still demonstrates a higher level of play. I think that given the standards that were put on him, like he's underperforming considering conversations are happening, is he the best jungler in the world after first stand? Which is a little bit crazy, but in contrast to Relech, I mean, this man is just the star of Navi. He is the man that so much of the magic happens around. And you have to imagine in today's matchup that these 2 players are going to be the key focus.
Exactly. I'm still leaning a little bit more on the Relech hype because with the patch changes, with the Cyclo Sword that you were excited earlier, I do feel like he is the one who's going to bring out a lot.
Can Relech play his game against Skumon? We'll see, because obviously we think it's going to be about these casters. Over to you.
Yeah, hopefully, right? I feel like this jungle matchup pops off hard as we welcome you to G2 versus Navi, your prime creme de la creme for your Sunday Mysterix Dagda. And now that we've got Heretics and Shifters out of the way, you know, have their little fun sport, their entree, we get to the main course. And when Navi in the roadshow struggled a little bit, once again, to finish games, we've got to ask the question, are G2 going to lock in today when it matters, as they always do, and roll them over and exploit that weakness? Because that's a weakness I'm worried about here in the LEC, especially as you get into playoffs that we're talking about.
Yeah, and look, G2 have had 2 pretty confident series back-to-back now, but they were against bottom-of-the-table teams. So this is where I'm looking to say, okay, how are we going to see them step up today? Because again, it's a lot of, these games matter for G2.
Yeah.
Like, they want to try and knock Fnatic out. If they can pick up a win and MKOI can pick up a win, it goes significantly more difficult and they do lock in playoffs. So for G2, not a must-win, but you'd really like to pick up a win here against Navi.
Oh, you would. Make it easy for yourself. You already lost to Fnatic earlier in the split. It would make the next week not as fun, but it would still be a banger regardless. However, Navi, as they said, locked top 4 with a win. They're looking to set themselves up for another good split and the rise of Navi here in the LEC. But G2, of course, their fandom still rises hard in the crowd. I mean, today, all the seats sold out. I mean, last series, again, was just a warm-up. This is really where we get into the main band. And Dagda, G2 have chosen second pick. Navi are on the blue side, so things are normal. It will be red side for G2. And the biggest question is, like, what we're going to see. Have G2 been cooking? Are they going to bring in something new and exciting? Because they are, you know, they're a team that likes to play around with their picks. While on the other side, Navi, not that things are standard, but, like, Relech is obviously the target if you're looking at cooking for them as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you heard it from the desk, 100% agree. Relech is kind of the guy you expect to cook. I think the rest of them will probably keep it more simple. I imagine G2, by going for this second pick, will be looking to see if they can try and take the counterpick for Broken Blade in that top side, and he's had a couple of them. Like Special Mentor likes to go towards the Sun. He's probably eyeing up things like Kled and these kind of picks that he has as these like weird counter picks, or I suppose unique counter picks. So I think that's what we'll be eyeing up now as we start to get into draft.
As we get in the pick and ban, I can tell you already, Oriana and Nort are the first two taken away, and that'll pop up on your screen in a second. Jarvan also about to be taken away. So the biggest question mark is, are we going to get that priority bottom lane? Vara still looks like it might be first pick worthy, but the other questions are like the Rise, maybe the Xin Zhao, especially if we know both Relech and Skumond. But also one of those priority supports, Seraphine, of course, being taken away is one of them that we could have talked about.
Yeah, I mean, the Vara's still looking. Rise, as you already talked about, where we're going to be focused as well. I think it's about trying to find comfort in that bottom side as well. Because in the last series against Shifters, Hansama didn't getting caught out once or twice on the Corki. Didn't look as strong as he's hoping. So I think that would be kind of where for G2. I think trying to find things like the Ezreal can work out well for him, or at least trying to solidify a strong bot lane here. Because Samdi and Paris, like you've got things like the Caitlyn and Bar that they're willing to go for. So I think this is kind of where my eyes are drifting for in these opening picks.
I wonder though, things like the Ashe also available as a question mark. The Azir to take note of. Ezreal's a big pick at the moment. Karma's a pairing with it as they hover it on the side of Na'Vi. And Paris has picked this a couple of times, but Sam D, I mean, I think the Ezreal being a favorite in his wheelhouse is good. But the problem is Han Summer, he might just take this away before they can pair it up.
Yeah, you can go for Ezreal Nami if you wanted to.
Yeah.
The last time against Shifters, they end up going for the Corki Nami in this situation, and they'd end up a little bit wonky for them on the bottom side, where Trimby had some really good Karma play to make sure that he could get kills onto Hansama. So I think here, taking the Ezreal away does make a lot of sense. You can take the Nami, still have a decent lane to try at least heal up through some of that early poke. And then I'm curious what Karma wants to be paired with here. Maybe it is just all in on the Caitlyn and just look for push, push, push.
Jungler's available 5. Sin. I'm looking through the pool. The Pantheon. When you already see that, I mean, Skumon can play so much, maybe again, it'll just be enabling him on something he's been good at. I feel like Skumon, his Xin Zhao has been incredible. We've seen only one game of the Pantheon, but Pantheon might also be a takeaway from Relech.
I personally prefer the Xin Zhao when you've got things like the Lulu or the Karma or something that can enable the Xin Zhao alongside it. Even the Ashe Seraphine fits into that wheelhouse as well. The Pantheon says to me, it's like, okay, well, I want something that can try and play for side lanes a little bit more. And with Broken Blade, we already talked about, like, wants to look for a strong counter pick in the side lane. I think...
Ljudi moji, konačno serija koju smo apsolutno svi čekali od kad smo se probudili jutros, to je Navi G2, da imamo ko će ovdje biti bolji. I, mislim, kao što sam napomenuo za G2, dosta bitan meč za Navi. Da li je bitan za Navi? Za Navi je onako bitan. Za Navi je... Mislim da im zavisi plasman, što znači da u play-offu će možda biti malo lakše. Ali opet im nije kao da ne znam ni ja šta, ono, svakako su skoro garantovano treći. Ali top 4 su sigurni.
So effective when working alongside the Xin Zhao. There's the Nami we were talking about. This is kind of the go-to pairing with the Ezreal and the Corki into the Karma. And at least it does mean you're going to be relatively safe to just heal up through the poke in the bottom lane. So I think now the focus is going to be for G2 and trying to limit what Poby has as answers, because you're probably going to see Caps go for something like the Ahri in this sort of situation. I think he had a good time last, we saw him on the Ahri as well, and then look for that counter pick for Broken Blade.
I mean, Rise is also up and available as well, but I've just noticed Rise has shifted a little bit down. However, with an Nivea ban, maybe he comes back in here for an appearance in Game 1 with the change of Phase Rush.
Yeah, the beauty of Phase Rush was it made his laning phase significantly easier. So you could try and play for, quick Phase Rush procs, disengage from any sort of follow-up damage, and be able to avoid a lot of the ganks. Now with having to deal 25% of your opponent's health bar, it becomes way more difficult to proc it safely and avoid ganks or get away from what were already bad matchups. So I think that's why we're seeing Rise teeter down in his champ.
Yeah. And again, this game might make an appearance, but still, it's just worth noting that Storm Raider Surge, with the difficulty of it, takes away the ease that was Rise in this game. Nah, also taken away, so maybe for Na'Vi it might be a Renekton game here for Mainta.
Bessa also has kind of been the one that he's defaulted to a lot as well.
Another great mention. Sion also, when you already have Caitlyn Karma, and you have a bit of damage access, why not make a front line that can help engage?
Interesting to see the Renegade ban. So, G2 kind of helping out a little bit, it feels like here. So
maybe they snag Ambessa. They want to snag Ambessa on 4.
Yeah.
If Na'Vi ban the Ambessa, Rumble is still up, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the old meme was Broken Blade wasn't playing Rumble, except for solo queue, but has actually brought it out and looked decent on us. So I think that's where, for here, like Rumble is an option. Jace is going to be banned away. This to me says that Na'Vi are trying to set up for either the Ambessa or...
Handsome je baš igrao puno Caitlyn. Tako da je interesantno će sad igrati Caitlyn. Da im šta će da radi sa... Da li ide na Doran's bow?
But still, like, you end up with a counter pick then with an easy option.
What do you think of Syndra? I was thinking...
I prefer Ahri because she has more mobility.
Yeah.
So then if you end up with someone jumping in on top of you to try and like flash stun or whatever, you can try and keep yourself safe. Also, if you got some way to try and play around the Tibbers just being dropped down because you can play at range with the orb, but LeBlanc less so.
The Rise, I guess, enables the movement we're talking about. So, yeah, just going to take the matchup, I guess, neutralize each other.
Yeah, I think the idea here is Rise tends to build a lot of health. Annie quite bursty, so by opting in towards the early Rod of Ages and being able to build Merc threads, it makes the laning matchup a little bit easier despite the opt-in towards Storm Raiders. Volibear would be an interesting one.
I mean, dude, as my favorite chat right now, like, no, I'm not going to get sucked into that. Instead, we get fire. But long-range engage, BB's going to play weak side. And there's a lot of go buttons now, or should I say there's like a lot of stopping, halting buttons. CC chain quite nice here from G2. Are you worried about damage? Or maybe it doesn't matter because there's no tank?
Less so because there's no tank. I think you still have with Pantheon being able to supplement damage a decent amount, and with the Ezreal as well. So I think you should be fine. The biggest problem that I see though is like pushing bot, pushing top, a lot of lanes for LEC to play around. Like this is kind of the Na'Vi draft that they like, where they're able to enable LEC. It may not be an Aatrox or something along these lines, but still Zin's out very good when he can try and play through this, and always has the support with Poby on the roam. Like this to me feels like a very Na'Vi focused draft and where they like to play. Whereas with G2, I tend to get a little nervous when I see Caps on something that doesn't have scaling playmaking.
Yeah.
Like I think Ahri, you can always make those plays and look for picks. Annie a little bit more difficult to try and do that on, and you're a bit more linear in your gameplay. And I think that's where the creativity for G2 starts to fall apart when Caps isn't able to be creative.
Well, at least in the early game, I mean, you can press the R button. It's not creative, but it is a button. As we see Na'Vi run into the fold, remember, all is on the line for Na'Vi to get top 4. And why top 4 matters in the LEC is because if you're not in the top 4, you're in single elimination. You have one shot, then you're out. No MSI for you, boo-hoo. And you have to wait till summer for the world's run. Na'Vi right now, they're put on display, but their weekend was rough. Their weekend was very rough. Especially when some games look like they were in the bag. If you're wondering,
Iskreno video nisam. Ću upalim kameru da ljudi vide mene. Nema. Draft kaže sljedeće. Šta kaže draft? Draft ništa ne kaže. Orna bi imao pre Rambla, Xina bi imao pre Pantheona, ali oba su tu negde. Rise outscala Annie, Caitlyn outscala Eza, Karma outscala Nami. Doran's Blade, Noba, Dekerija, Fleet na Sandiju, Little Tempo na Ezu i TP na Ezu je jako interesantno. Mainter ne ide na Deathfire, ide na First Strike. Sve ovo ostalo je popričao klasično, ništa se tu ne menja. Da stavimo samo na story da igra G2, da ljudi vide ko nije.
And note that in this game, when we're talking so much about Death by Touch, he has actually gone back towards the cash-in.
Yeah, I mean, first strike is so...
Samo napišemo.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you get free access, right?
Yeah, it's so simple. Like, you end up just burning down the ore and you get a ton of money. Like, by 15, 16 minutes, you end up with, like, a 1k gold lead just off of the early cash back that you can get and the extra money that you've got. Like, it very quickly starts to snowball. So, very effective, and especially for a champion that spikes so hard, so early on these items, it just makes a ton of sense.
Also, new rune coming out. Trades get a little bit heavy in the bottom lane. Mystic shots hitting. But again, that's Han Summer's Ezreal. I mean, this is also a pick that, while Sandy's comfortable on it, Han Summer, I feel like one of his top champions of all time has to be Ezreal. For me, at least, watching as a viewer.
Dobar je Nezu, ali mislim, ne znam, neko TP u Caitlyn mi se baš ne sviđa. Jer ja mislim da u late game ako ne ide na double tier build, da ga Caitlyn ubije skrita. Kao bukvalno mislim da ćemo vidjeti situaciju ako Han Sama nema double tier, gdje sam da ima headshot, flash basic u Ezreal ubije ga od 100 do 0. Eventualno ako ode na plate Trinity ne bi trebalo, ali... Ne znam, malo mi iskreno preveliki flip, ne bi se s tim igrao.
G2 players kind of going more traditional outside of Caps, who's got Death by Touch. Poby on the other side. We'll just quickly do this before Skewmon gets Scuttle and thinks about a gank. A reminder, if you haven't kept up to date with Pandemonium patch, aka 26.9, Storm Raider Surge has replaced Phase Rush. And as we were talking about in the draft, it is a lot harder now to proc as a Rise, because you have to do 25% of a champion's max health. Within 3 seconds, yes, is a bit of time. But the Rise chunk early isn't really enough to get that same escape tool.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fact that you could just very quickly machine gun off some spells as Rise and then start to run away from ganks made it really difficult to gank him. So even though Rise is quite short range as a champion, wasn't really effective to make plays around him. Yeah, now he gets it. But that's the thing, right, is now you have to play aggressive to make that happen, and it makes it a little bit less likely that you can just easily escape away from some of these ganks.
I will say, though, the one buff is that this new one, Storm Raider Surge, is massive on range. In the past, it was actually better to be a melee champion with Phase Rush. Now, it's better to be a range champion with Phase Rush. So, really different playstyle being added into the game. And we'll see what else it gets adapted by in League of Legends. For now, mid lane is just going to fight it out. We look at top. Mates are doing pretty good in the trades and already up 230 CS. Sorry, 230 gold. Could you imagine? Broken Blade walks in. Overheat is good. Mate just gets a couple of autos down, and that's really where the trades go. When you have that flame spitter, when you overheat and you suck in, whack away at the tank, especially when you talk about having your cash in up. Oh, it's so nice, feels so good.
Yeah, this is kind of your favorite matchup as a Rumble, because there is very little that Broken Blade can really do to turn around. It does get a little dicey at 6, because again, you have Skewmon and Broken Blade with a great setup. So if a flash gets burned early, that's where Mainter can be a little bit vulnerable. And maybe actually, I'm looking at Skemon's clearing here, could go for some sort of play off of clearing out his Raptors. Has gone for the reset already, picked up the double crystal, so maybe considering it, as BB will have to see.
Caps će moći da bude fajn na 6. Paci combo na Rise i to, ali mislim što duže traje partija, samo neće imati kako da igra u njega. A G2 kažem, nije da nužno moraju pobjeti ovaj game. U teoriji, ako izgube u nedelju, Giantsi su im verovatno najlakši protivnik ili koji. Ali ako izgube sve partije u nedelju, to jest u sljedeći vikend, ne sad u nedelju, postoji šansa da G2 ne ode u playoff. Tako da ovo im je sad kao, ako ovo pobedi, ja mislim da idu u playoff skoro sigurno. Jel da, jeste. Čedim. Fanatic imaju još jedan game, izgubili su od G2, jel tako? Fanatic je pobjedio G2. Znači, ako su Fanatic i G2 na istom skoru, Fanatic ide dalje, G2 ne ide. A trenutno su na istom skoru. Što znači da ovdje ako Fanatic izgubi, ako G2 izgubi, a Fanatic pobedi, ekipa G2 mora da pobedi 2 partije. Od Casey-a trebaju dobiju batine, Giants se možda dobiju, i onda bi ko je odlučivao. Da, G2 samo mora dobije ovdje, mislim. Ako G2 dobije ovdje, onda Fanatic i da pobedi Vitality, G2 treba jedna pobjeda u sljedeće 3 fincu. Navi nije loš, kažem, real insane. Što se tiče ove ekipe, zašto mi je generalno fan da gledam ekipu Navi, je zašto mislim da imaju potencijalno najboljeg junglera u ligi. Dobar je Jajk, nije loš, ali mislim da je Misderiler samo next level, iskreno.
shifting around to make sure you're able to keep in contact with all of these objectives. As long as that's the case, like, I think you're in a decent spot, and Skewmont, if he can't interact with these lanes, I think it becomes a little bit more difficult for G2 to hold control.
He's got the Galactic Ultimate now, so he can fly in and stars down and find a target. Poby as well, kind of react to that as well. It is nice to see, like, these semi-globals be in contention at opposite sides of the rift, because a lot of attention can be played down to some of these fights. Look, guys, we didn't say it was going to be fast. I mean, last series was the best series of the split, so this is obviously by contention going to be a little bit worse. However, first items are going to pop up. Like, you're going to love it. You know, it's like in the movie, you got to get the character, build up the base a little bit.
Pazi, prva serija Salty 2-0, tako da za sada svi ide po planu. A ja, boga mi, dalje idem u mestu, ali nema veze. Hodio sam cijelu prvu seriju. Sad sam stigao, što ti kažem dokle sam stigao već. Stigao sam do 9300, 9500 koraka, update-ovo mi se sad. Tako da sam na 10k za 2 minuta. A moram do 12k bar da stignem. Ću ubrzam malo korake ovaj game. Stignem 12k do kraja prenosa, onda mogu da gledam film sedeći. Svako ću šetati posle, još jednu još šetam posle. Pre filma, verovatno. To nije fair. Vidi, ali znaš šta je fora? Ja kad sam se vratio kući sa šetnje, poslam ti sliku. Kad se vratio kući imao sam oko 6k. Nego da nisam puno prešao kući. Mislim, sad prva 2 gema sam baš sporo išao. I sad ne idem brzo, iskreno. Pa mislim, polako stićemo do 12k. A tebe su iznapadali. A što je najjače, kako je toplo vreme, nije niko da možda noši neke čizme ili nešto. Pa nemaš ni tu, ono, counterplay neki. Kaps malo tankuje kulu, nema veze. Ma tradove Tiber sam u cancela recall against that fine. Sad će Pobi samo da ostane jer ovi više nema Tiber za dešava. Pa to ti kažem. I sad opet dolaze šorcevi konačno za Patreone. Juče sam bio preključe, sam nosio u teretanu šorc. Stavio sam stvari iza Duksi ovoma da se ne vidi pošto sad hodam. Kad budem seo će se vidi. Konačno šorcevi da se vrate. Ja ne znam, jesi ti uzao sol, ti nemaš to ni prvi šorc Ribor, ali tako? Mislim ti nisi. A? Samo Marenci ima taj šorc, au. Marenci jedini ima taj šorc, to je insane. Ali giga lagan šorc, iskreno, baš lagan šorc. Nije teo da komita. Ali još jedan turač ti umro, postoji šansa da samo ne bi ni dobio kill. O, ništa. Ali da, bukvalno je, mislim, isti je model kao taj prvi short, samo ima malo drugačiji dizajn. Ali giga lag, da sam ga nosio u teretani baš ovaj dan kad sam išao na slikanje, ja i Klara. Iskreno, ja jedva čekam vreme za šorceve. Jer realno je ono, mnogo lakše šta god da radiš. Ja ne znam, kad četam luja, kad je zima, vrate, dok se ja presvučem, ono, dok se obučem 6 slojeva, dok stavim da izađem po snijegu da njega prošetam, ovako kao u čemu god da streamujem, samo prezujem se. Pada mi na pamet, trebam one kroksice za napolje da spustim dole i mi budu spremne. Samo prezujem papuče i šetam luje i onda prezujem u kućne papuče i kući sam. To je play. Toplije vreme samo gotiti. Samo što moram da rešim neke kape i kačkete jer mi ćela pocrvene. Treba će još kroksica, uvek kroksice. Kroksice su gotice. I zaboravi sudije, možda imao neki Red Bull, nešto je Salty poslao. Zaboravili sudije da kažem ako mu ostao neke ponese pro. Ne, kroksice su gote da iskreno. Bar tako za ono brzo prezuvanje i reši šta treba. I mi treniramo u njima što najjače. Bar kad noge radimo. Slušam. Dok gledamo Navije koji... Ne. Ovo je Navio. Što nije nimo smite. Nije ni jedan bio. Oh, what the fuck? Skem. A šta nače tako kad je nešto rijetko ljudi koji znaju, koji znaju pa piju zero, samo pokupe sve. Mislim, ja ništa ne sam da pričam, realno gledano ja kad nađem neke proteinske čokoladice jeftine, kupim 4 kutije, mislim. Tako da ne mogu ništa da kažem, ja sam takav. Kad navatam nešto što je dobro, realno uzem brda. Svako to pojedem se u nekom trenutku. Pa Labrov je ti malo mrtv. Ne znam, G2 klimav. Opa. Stan. Okap. A šta sad? Pa gdje je stuba? Problem. Dobro, to je samo skem, Salty. To je samo skem. Šta je? Oh my god, naš su nove kroksice. Kroksice. What the fuck? Ne pošalji mi Clarotelling da mogu da eksplorujem kroksice. Znači nema 44. Smor. Biće bolje. Ne, bukvalno sam provalio, znači za ovo leto sve što mi fali sad, dobro, ti si mi zabali jedan shorts, ali mislim, možda još jedan shorts, fali mi majice bez rukava i kape. Kao to je bukvalno sve što mi fali za ovo leto. Realno nije ko da nekom treba sad puno odjeće, imam majice kratkih rukava kako hoću, ima dukseva ako ono bude nešto malo hladnije. Znači, bukvalno samo fale kape i fale fale kape i fale... Još jedan shorts. I majice bez rukava. Koji dalje ne možemo nađemo dobre. A bit će toga, valjda. Nešto mi Klara sad skoro rekla, će ovih dana biti fazom 30 stepeni napolju. Ja ne znam, leto će biti baš pakleno.
You're going to send Poby now bot lane to match Caps. He's going to crash this last wave and then reset. So he should be in a relatively good spot. But I think you can just shift now Caps into that top side again and kind of keep these Mainter away from this Ornn matchup because that's where he really wants to succeed. Especially again, procking like first strike.
Dobro, ma naravno, Salty, vidi, meni je klima ovdje iznad glave, ali kao... Ne znam, svake godine je sve ekstremnije kad malo bolje razmisliš. Kad pretprošle godine, što kažu, topili se automobili u Indiji, fazom. Baš ono... Ne znam. Iskreno, jako zabrnjavajuće da pomisliš kao šta će biti za 10 godina, ali ne znam ni ja. Jer kao ako se sad ono tope automobili, vrate šta će bude za malo dalje. Gle, ako ništa moram da priznam, sad kad sam skinuo ovako puno kila, mnogo lakše podnosim toplotu. Mnogo teže podnosim zimu, ali mnogo lakše podnosim toplotu, to sam izvalio. Ono, uopšte se ne znojim to, kao sad hodam 2,5 sata hodam na ovoj traci i nisam se ni trunko znojio. I ruke su mi i dalje relativno hladne. Nisu baš full led do duše. O, znam Salty, što ti kažem, baš je ono... Ko zna više šta se događa. Što je meni čudno, mislim, vezano uz ovaj game, Deathfire Grasp na Eni je malo diskutabilno. Morao sam to da dodam na sekund, jer mi nije baš najjasnije što se događa. Zašto bi ranovo DFG na Ari? Na Eni. Opa, dobar kaps. Jako dobar kaps. Ovo samo vifaš, ideš na bot. Full bot. Mogu si kroz river. Da nije baš to morao da uradi, ali mislim da mogu da vozi na bot da proba uzme kulu. Interesant. To nisam ispratio. Kao generalno čitam Twitter, tako da bi te priče trebalo mi izlete negde. O, lepo odigrao Caps. Baš je lepo odigrao Caps ovdje. Opa. Mora da respektujem.
Yeah, BB trying to use that tempo as the wave is only going to start to be pushed in now. Shift across the mid. Flash down on Sam D is nice because you burn it after Dragon has been taken, which means that then the next fight that comes up, Sam D won't have access to that. Unless he's running the Cosmic Insight, which would be very surprised at. But still, it means that Caitlyn significantly more vulnerable. Caps should have his play, and that'll be the next. Sorry, should have.
To je baš čudno, iskreno.
And that'll be the next play that G2 are looking for.
Nema, čudne stvari se dešavaju, iskreno. Jako čudne stvari. Ne moram ovdje da sipam, neću da riknem iz vode. U stvari ne moram. Imam plan B.
I'm just like keeping my eyes on how G2 are like trying to split the map, right? Because you're constantly seeing this big push in on the top side, which now opens up BB to try and cover here, so you can then shift down into this bottom side and look towards this bottom lane turret for G2, and that's kind of what their main focus is at the moment, which is why you're seeing all this vision invested into this bottom side jungle. And Navi are trying to defend by moving over, but by shifting Sam D into the jungle, it means he's not in a position to constantly contest the wave. So G2 are going to drop into these awkward positions, and G2 kind of
nema Drake-a.
or something along those lines. Even hovering Caps out of vision to just make things a little bit more dangerous. So you can see Relech has to escort Poby down to the bottom lane.
Caps doesn't have stun up, but he can just press EWR. As his flash is almost up and available again. The playmaking tool now with Shadow Flame as well to boot. As G2 also brought Broken Blade down. He's moving down nice and early. Engage from Relech might be a little bit weird.
Instant ult od Pantheona, od Xina, dobro. Ne mogu s Q'om da navati, nešto Poby ne fokusira Labrova, iskreno. Sad mora Han Samu da bije. Poby Han Sama te tuče, vrati. G2 dobio ovaj fight lagano. Ja. I damage Han Sam. Lepo G2. Lepo G2, iskreno. Ovo je Baron. Mnogo bolji game, nebo i zemlja game od prvog. Mislim očekivano, ali... Svaka pobjeda Giantsa, Koja i G2-a uništava Fanatiku šansu da prođu dalje. Baš lepo od G2-a. I još te ignorišu Han Samu, brat mu i Muramanu Trinity, najjači heroj na mapi trenutno. Ignorišu ga ko da nema damage. A gledao, W ult.
With an Essence Flux and True Shot Barrage, Hansama rips through SamD's health bar. Na'Vi in the dirt, they had a 3k gold lead at one point in this game. The Dragon stacking stopped a while ago. The fights have now become a little bit more even. Broken Blade starting to group up, and you know, he's received a lot of criticism, but I will say this game, he has played weak side as well as you could hope for an Ornn. I mean, yeah, he's lost a lot of gold, but at the end of the day, he's always been pretty good.
Earlier on with Burn Flash where I don't think he needed to.
The E into nothingness was a bit rubbish, but
I do think, I think Broken Blade has been playing well on where he needs to be positioned on the map and like using wave timers to be in the positions that he needs to. Even now pushing in on bottom side, has Skew to support him. I'm assuming going to let the minions finish off that tower because he could have just taken that tower. But did want to reset, try and cover this push on top side from Poby. Leaving it for Hansama. Good gold, BB.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Wants his 80 card to get the
he
gold.
shares gold. He doesn't need it. I mean, he's 1,500 gold down. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a tank. This is my life now.
He's spreading the love. I mean, he's given the gold value through his ornaments right now. And Shadow Flame upgraded for Caps. Soon I'm sure the Trinity Force will be as well. Broken Blade level 16. Poby does no damage to him because he has built MR. Equalizer stopping the push here with Baron from G2. So Manta still quite a big threat here that needs to be paid respected to. And even though they're Baron minions, Manta can step up here. Good Electro Harpoons as well. Hits Hansama. One cannon to hold the beat.
And with G2 just pushing in everywhere, Dragon is an easy take for Skewmont. But we try to put pressure on top side, but there's no real push on mid to then cross map for Na'Vi. So they're kind of just locked in place.
Yep.
So G2, again, like using the map well to their advantage.
Ocean Soul for an Ornn would be nice here for G2 as there's their first real gold lead of this game. And now we wait 4 minutes till the next objectives. G2 cresting upon third items. I mean, Hansama especially here. Eternal Hunger just picked up. Caps with Needlessly Large is going to be turning that into something special for his third item. Whether it's Rabadons or... I mean, honestly, at this point, Caps could do anything, I feel. Pretty squishy comp with a bit of shielding. Are Na'Vi in a lot of trouble, Dagda?
I still think they have decent scaling. Like, with the Caitlyn starting to work up towards the last Whisper and stuff. The biggest problem is they don't have people that can really take the brunt force of the engage from G2 if Relech's ultimate is down. Like, point in case.
Long range engage, how good is it against Caitlyn? SamD flashes again. Meanwhile, they've found Poby. He flashes away, but a tidal wave is going to chase him up. He gets on out of there with the new rune, but still stunned up by Skewmont. His assault is legendary, but as he goes to half HP, maybe an opportunity for Na'Vi. However, Hansama jumps on in. Flashes still dies. Ace in the hole clears him out for a trade. It's a 1-for-1. 80 carry for support while G2 are going to continue going forward, but Relech tanky enough. Tibbers comes out, proves me wrong, and down he goes to Caps.
Okay.
SamD chased up and Caps will take him down. Incinerate.
Nešto je zabolo, nema veze.
Double kill over to Caps, who I think has shown.
Lepo igra G2, baš lepo igra G2, iskreno. Ode im je Inter. Oni su odlučili malo da ga zagrifaju u fullu. Pa dobro, respekt, nema šta. Mislim da je to skroz okej.
Na'Vi just lose their collective minds. Relech just, to be fair, couldn't really get out of here. But Caps, immediately seeing that SamD tried to help, just feels it. Goes for the flash over the wall, manages to get the kill. Manger then moves over after pushing in bot lane with Poby, and this Realm Warp, I mean, even if you don't spot LeBron, this is kind of insanity.
I'm not doing that, bro. SamD caught out again, he burned his flash in previous fight, tidal wave, the bounce house! G2 still got it and Broken Blade on its own. He's been hitting. Yeah, he's down in the lane, but Dagda, his ulties have been good enough.
His ulties have been great. Broken Blade showing why he's so good at understanding where he needs to be on the map, but now G2, every member on the mid wave is going to crack the base.
Caps, superstar of this game with the Rabadon's death cap. His burst is unreasonable now. Inhibitor's going to go down. Relech looking for an angle. An opportunity here for the Flash Zinzao.
Human se je krenuo loše. A znaš što je fora sa G2-a? Mislim, to je nešto što kapiram da Na'Vi Ne znači imati priliku da istraže ovaj game. U best of 5 je mnogo veći problem. Champion pool s Qmonda je jako mali. I ako uspiju da banuju i da popikaju heroja koji on igra i stave ga na nečemu kao što je Skarner, imaju drastično veće šanse da dobiju game. Han sam je mrtav ovde. Da. Ryze ulti u Rumble ult. Uhvate Labrova bar. Bibi pa, damage pada isto. Caps of damage je van svake pameti jak. A ti tučeš Bibija, brate, pa priču biti Capsa s pola healtha nego Bibija s 10%.
G2 get completely caught out there, and it starts with Hansama. But now Sam D gets the wave mid, ends up getting the pressure now for the Baron. They're going to turn towards it immediately, and I think it's the right call. You don't have the G2 bot lane here, and all of the ultimate, well, all of them. Caps' ultimate is down. Scumon's in Broken Blaze, the only ones to speak of.
Cap's going to teleport in. Scumon has vision, understanding, knowledge. 6,000 though, getting chased down. Na'Vi pull off the Baron. Scumon going to try and buy some time. He sends out the Aegis to solve with the roots. Incoming audacious charge. Still can't finish him off. Here comes Major with the flash on him, but Scumon stands until he trades. The rest of Na'Vi on the way in. Hansama though, the mystic shot up the mystic shot. Hansama shows Europe how to play this champion. Hansama, arcane shift in with LeBron by his side, will not be stopped. A tidal wave to miss, an arcane shift again. Hansama will take 3, nay, almost 4. He's back to full HP. He executes Paris. He picks up the Quadra, and he reminds us all who the GOAT 80 carry is.
No one is getting away from Hansama this game. And with that, Broken Blade TPs to the mid lane and takes game 1 for G2.
He's gonna nice, insane.
Hansama Ezreal should be respected as Broken Blade slowly whittles down the turrets, and here comes the legend alongside Labrov. G2 outhands Na'Vi in the top lane, and game 1 will be dropping shortly after.
It was a bit of a slow burn, start things off.
Dobro, jedan game za G2, vidjet ćemo da li će moći ga završi, ali kažem, bitna partija za G2. Što pre garantuju taj playoff, to bolje za njih. Znamo da su u suštini u situaciji gdje nikad im nije toliko optimalno dok u jednom trenutku ne dođu do playoffa, u tom trenutku samo probude i krenu da rade ono što uvek rade. Tako da, pauzica mala, pa se vraćamo, budite dobri, tu smo za 10 minuta.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Baby, cause I'm the cushion.
Red Bull gives you wings.
In your best man speech, you said my wife is funnier than me.
That's factually correct.
Okay.
We're in range.
Nah, it's fine, man. It's fine. Relax. I've got this. I have years and years and years of experience.
Yeah, but it's gonna.
And there we go. Look at that. What are you so worried about?
Oh,
will die. Looks good.
Nice.
I've stun. Can you go to Nash?
Okay, no flash.
I reach.
Yeah, no flash.
I will take him. Remember subs?
No flash.
He's goofing.
Nice, flash.
IV. I'm W2.
Yeah, you first. Nice.
Banger. Welcome back to the LEC. I'm Vidi, joined by Odo, and we're going to run you through what was a bit of a frustrating game to watch for Na'Vi. They had a really healthy lead, and they ended up throwing it. So without wasting any time, we want to jump straight to the moment where things fell apart. Because Na'Vi, about 14-15 minutes into the game, they had a 3K gold lead, and Caps does this.
It all turns around here with Caps, because what happens here is that when you get to these sorts of positions when it comes about the Drake objective, Na'Vi was about to set up the map perfectly. They had the Herald out there. They were ready to push this midwave, walk into Drake, but Caps just found, as we saw, that incredible engage where when it comes to these teams, or to these top teams, they always want to skip steps. Na'Vi, this is the team about this game. They just found themselves in this position where they're consistently skipping steps because they feel like, oh, we're 2K gold up. Oh, we're 3K gold up. Well, surely we can start skipping some steps. Surely we can accelerate the game pace a little bit so that we can get those objectives a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's a great demonstration of how G2 utilized vision, took advantage of the positioning of Na'Vi, and suddenly swung the game in their momentum. But the gold was still in Na'Vi's favor.
It was.
So let's jump to another replay, because Odo and I wanted to kind of break some stuff down. Because if we look at this freeze frame, we can see that 2.5K is the gold lead right now. Na'Vi's positioning looks quite promising. So we're going to move over to this map on our other screen, right? And Odo, who is a coach right now, professional assistant coach, is going to run this through in this position what exactly Na'Vi should be doing. So we know 2.5K is the gold lead. Right now there's no dragon available. 2.5 minutes until the dragon. So what is the game plan here, Odo?
So what Na'Vi wants to do, because ultimately the objective is Baron Nashor. Baron Nashor is over here, but what happens is that to get to the Baron Nashor, to accelerate that game, you want to enable the other side of the map. This was more or less where Na'Vi was in this situation. They had, with 3K gold lead, you expect
they had the push in top, they've got control over
exactly,
mids.
Pushing everywhere. But when it comes to establishing control, there's a couple of steps that you want to do. And again, we will see exactly how they skip those steps. What you want to do is, or what Na'Vi rather wanted to do, was they wanted to push mid here, and when Ezreal, or at least, not Ezreal and Na'Vi, but at least Ezreal catches wave under the tower, this is how they generate numbers advantage. And with that numbers advantage, what they want to do is they want to create this link into the river where even if G2 starts responding properly, physically, you cannot be there. You cannot generate numbers advantage. So what they want to do is they want to create this sort of bridge between mid and bot so that when Caps or Broken Plate or Relech, oh my god, Poby or Mindter, Poby and Mindter want to start shifting away from this bot side to generate enough pressure to ultimately lead themselves into this Baron position. That's how they do it, because you need to create a strong side on the other side of the map. But what happened was that Na'Vi, they did not wait for that mid push.
Yeah, let's get the replay back up, and let's actually show exactly what Na'Vi does, because Odoamre's whole point here is that for Na'Vi, what they need to be able to do is generate pressure and then move. But when we watch the actual replay, the mid wave hasn't been pushed in, a fight already starts, they think they can cheat because they have the Rise ultimates to get them involved, but then they find themselves trapped in a choke point against an Ornn.
And Samdi, he is the one who was supposed to give numbers advantage, but he was the one who was consistently found himself not even in the river position because they skipped the most important step. How do you create numbers advantage? You create numbers advantage by pushing the wave, and that's exactly what happened. If you can bring it back over here, Samdi was over here. The fight was happening in the river, and all of a sudden it just becomes so much easier for G2, for Hansama, for everyone to collapse into this river, because realistically it was not their area of control. They were still waiting for that most important step that most teams skip, because this is where games are thrown. Exactly in this position. Every team wants to get push and move, and these two, always the support in jungle, get extremely greedy to say, I want to play faster. Because I'm playing against G2. I am stressed. I want to snowball a game cleanly against G2 because I know that if they get control of the game, they will win. And that's where pressure hits, and that's where you make mistakes and you start skipping steps.
And that's what we ultimately saw throughout this game. Fight after fight after fight. G2 was just dominating. It really did feel like Na'Vi collapsed almost in this game because clip after clip, fight after fight, every time it looked quite close for Na'Vi, G2 just tore them apart.
But this is also the fragility of such a comp. They had so many tools in the early game to get ahead. They had winning lanes pretty much everywhere. The onus was on Human to get them to rather stop the early game snowball, and it didn't happen. It came into the mid game, and once G2 gets into an even game state with the Ornn, with the Annie, with the Pantheon, 3 big trigger pulling abilities, they just find so many more opportunities than Na'Vi do.
Yeah, they absolutely do. So G2 currently lead the series 1-0. They demonstrate great patience and just good macro understanding and how they can punish these skipped steps in this situation. And so for game 2, I feel like that we just need Na'Vi to calm down, to go back to the fundamentals and rely on the things that have gotten them this far in this split.
Exactly. Play slow. You don't need to play fast because a win is a win. The game will end at some point. And realistically, Na'Vi's story this game was you just sat there for 10, 15 minutes, you pushed your lanes, you generated passive gold leads everywhere, and G2 was the one. I think G2 was having Skewmon throw ults due to pressure and try to find leads, and they kept collapsing over and over and over and over. You don't need to go there. When you're winning passively, you can just slow it down.
Well, we've set out the conditions for Na'Vi to potentially bounce back in game 2, so to get us into our second game, let's send it over to the casters.
Yeah, I like it. Slow down, chill out. I mean, I feel like for Na'Vi the whole weekend, the problem was like they'd find these early game leads and then they'd rush steps, they'd skip steps. And it's happening again here in Berlin. It wasn't just an every Paris thing, you know?
Yeah, and I think it says a lot about, you know, there's a lot of newer players on Navi's side.
Yeah.
And I think trying to get everyone onto the right page can always be a bit of a detriment.
That's true.
Especially like, obviously Poby is kind of the one that you look at as the guy that has been there for a while, but also like he's still relatively new when it looks towards LEC and that. So I think that's where I'm like expecting to see more from, as the split goes on, how these guys improve. Unfortunately, we're kind of seeing that if you don't just stick to the game plan, things can go a little bit awry.
Yeah, I mean, especially when against G2, I mean, they got hands. Like the Caps play, magnificent. The Broken Blade ultis were great as well, and Hans Sama carried the last fight. There's always one G2 player who just steps up and goes out of bounds for what you think is possible. In that game, there's a couple of them, and Na'Vi couldn't keep up in step. Let's see again, how do they moderate themselves, pull back, give us an interesting draft, maybe Relech focus more so, as they are on the red side now. And first pick is going to go over to G2 from what I can see. So standard pick and ban here as Nautilus is consistently taken away by our teams in the LEC.
Yeah, again, it's just the one really good engaged support we have into a lot of the Enchanter metas. So seeing that taken away. And now I think the focus is going to be more towards, you know, the junglers, the mid laners, the Varuses of this generation that we consistently see taken away.
The Varuses of this generation as opposed to the last one.
Yeah.
Yes.
As opposed to the Varus that has been banned for several years now at this stage. Because it turns out if you can interact with the lane on mid-wave from very, very far away, that's a pretty nice benefit as an AD.
Oh, yes. Range is epic. As that Nocturne gets banned away, Seraphine. Orianna is open. Just as a side note here. Giving Caps Orianna, probably not the best idea, but then again, I could say that probably about any champion as he's played so many. Plays them so well. Are they going to risk it on the side of Na'Vi, or...?
I imagine it's an Orianna ban. He's, at least in my eyes, the best Orianna that we have for lane dominance.
I would think so.
Just especially into like Orianna's ear.
Oh my god, Ori's up.
Yeah, I think just take the Orianna and you're happy out here as G2. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Because then also things like, while Vi is banned, things like, Pantheon Zhao's gone. I'm trying to think. I thought I had better jungler than this.
Yeah, I think the only thing he would be like, oh well, we don't really have tools to go in, right? Because as you say, the Vi, the Xin Zhao, things that it would pair with traditionally in the jungle aren't quite there. But I still think like Wukong still very strong with this, those kind of things. So I think you still have answers.
A good correction. Caps hasn't had Orianna this split, but it will be his first Orianna of the split only. As it was too good to let up, but G2, what are they giving up on the side? No Axe Seraphine, no Varus lane, no Ezreal, no Caitlyn, and the Karma first pick is also off the board. No Rumble first pick. We're going to get bot lane. We are going to get bot lane. So, I feel like, again, our Lucians have gotten a lot better in the LEC since the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, Sam D was the person to break the streak alongside Paris. So, very strong bot lane. And it does kind of leave a question now. What does Hansam and Abroad want to answer it? Like Corki, Nami, Yunara. Okay, Yunara, Lulu, going to be the spawns, but still like heavily aggressive in this matchup. And what we saw from Sam D was taking the exhaust so you can trade very effectively on these mid waves. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a similar story here against the Yunara, where you can just bully her out before she can really get value from her auto attacks.
I mean, yeah, it's up to the owners of Navi's bottom lane as Hobie looking to see what he can match against Caps Orianna. It's going to be the victor in the end. As a side note, against Caps, it's a big bar considering this is his 60th Orianna game. His most played of his career from what I'm seeing on Game of Legends here. So it's a big bar for Hobie as he tries to bully the lane and kind of set himself up.
But I think it's just to try and match the aggression of the Orianna. Like, I don't think you can bully the Orianna, but at least having the range means that's a little bit more difficult for the Orianna to bully you.
Yep.
Because she's incredibly strong, especially in the hands of Caps. The ability to, it really comes down to ball placement in the lane, and how you can use that to either like get good command dissonance off, so you can chase people down, or just being able to whittle away at people's health bar, especially with things like Summon Airy.
Yep.
So yeah, very, very strong pick. And already, like with Orianna and Lulu, if I'm a jungler, like a Wukong, I'm delighted in this game. Because I have so many shields that are going to be coming.
Ajmo da vidimo, ljudi moji. G2 uzeo je jedan game. Vidjet ćemo šta će dalje moći da urade. Da li mogu da zatvore ovu seriju, da li ćemo gledati možda i game broj 3. Ali je otišao na Lucijana. Vidjet ćemo šta se tu događa, ali Lucijan generalno je bio dosta dobar u Evropi zadnje 2 nedelje.
Considering that Sion has just been banned away. Also, the Aatrox off the board takes away the flexibility from Relech because he still doesn't have a jungler. But at this point, I'm starting to think, are we going to go to a Cassante here for Broken Blade?
Ne moraš Cassante, Bibi.
No, it's not Camille blind. Okay, Renekton's still up. But
like I don't think we're going to get anything too crazy from Broken Blade. I imagine, especially with this comp, just slapping a tank in the top lane or something that can frontline is going to be completely fine. Maybe the Shen, if you want to just add more shields. But I do like this from Navi. Like we talked about the Wukong, I was going to say you could potentially take it away here. Still synergizes pretty well with the rest of your squad. So it would make sense, yeah. Just going to try and take that one away. So
Wukong je fajn, skidaju s Qmon do pik. Što igra s Qmon do bulda. Ne, ne vrlo. Nema dobar ball delivery ovdje. Ovo da je Jajk pikovi Kaziksa i Bibiju bi dali Xantea top. Legitimno Kazix Xante. Ali pošto je Skjumond igra... Dobro, Xantea svejedno. Skjumond igra, šta igra Skjumond? Munda ovdje, ali Munda je baš loš ball delivery. Ja ne znam šta igra ovdje. Maj, Nocturne, ni za Hen? I Trundla je igrao. Ma da opet Trundla igrao niti... Ali zašto bi pikao Trundla ovdje? Trundla nema smisla. Navi samo ne uzme tenka sad. Od koga on ličuje statove. To je jako čudno, iskreno. Jako čudno.
Maybe we get to see Mainter open up on a new one here from Sub.
Maybe flicks back to the Ambassador though, and okay, gonna try and rely on a little bit more setup because I guess with the Wukong they want a bit more follow-up engage.
Yeah, I think it does get a little bit tough though when you go full dive here because as you said, like we already said, the Orianna and the Lulu, the heals, the shields, the wall growths, everything in between, it can get a little complicated on trying to go for dive here. And if you can pull it off though with the Wukong into Ambessa into Victor ult, very quickly someone can get deleted. So I think Navi kind of quite upfront damage in their composition, and it's on G2 to see if they can either prevent that onto key targets or absorb some of that and then punch back.
I mean, I see their comp being very standardized themselves as well. Tron thrown into the mix. See what Skewmon can do here, and let's talk about absorbing pressure. Be interesting to see if Navi can get this ball rolling.
Jako čudan Trundle. Jako čudan Trundle.
Which recently has been pretty successful. We talked about. Is it going to be enough here? There's a Cassante on the enemy side. The only thing I'm worried about is damage control for the Lucian as the game goes on. But hell, you got a Victor, you got an Ambessa. Maybe there's other outlets here for you to deal with that tank front line as we're about to get back into Summoner's Rift. G2 looking for this win to help them get closer to securing a spot in playoffs. Fnatic are the ones who are hoping that G2 lose, that maybe start Koi lose. Their fate almost not in their own hands, but G2 can make sure they secure and prevent Na'Vi from getting top 4 here today as well. Game 1 with some clutch hands from Caps, from Broken Blade, and also from Hans Sama. LeBron had a great Na'Vi game. Can they do it again? Are G2 back? The question we ask every single game they go well.
In regular season, then we get to playoffs and we're like, we know they're
G2
back.
are back,
Yeah, they're doing alright.
Ok, ajmo da imamo. Svako sjeo da iskuliram da gledamo ovaj game. Imamo i Orijanu nismo vidjeli pikovanu, zašto nikad nije otvorena, uvek je banovana. Jako dugo nismo vidjeli Orijanu. Egzost na Lucianu, Hans nema cleanse, to je dosta bitan faktor.
And Vedi was right. Bringing it back. And then they, of all things, went to first-hand finals, which just really rubbed salt in the wound.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they perform so well, and you're like, and then they come back, and then they perform bad again. And so we're just in this mixed course of emotion where, and I'm sure the G2 fans feel the same, or maybe they're just used to it by now, where you just go on a roller coaster. I mean, they're not really KT roller coaster because it doesn't feel similar at all. They're their own thing. They're like the wild mouse at Luna Park for Australians out there. It's this ride that looks like you're going to fall off and die. But in the end, it always makes it. And it's a lot of fun.
I'm glad there's so many Australians awake right now listening to
there are. It's only 4 a.m. or something for them right now, I think. It is very late. I mean, LEC was always...
Caps mora da igra bez ball delivery, to je baš teško. Bukvalno nijedan hero u njegovom timu nije dobar ball delivery.
Every other region like LPL, LCK. I think LCS was like very early in the morning as it normally runs after us. Caps get the Canon. As, yeah, there's always a difficulty, but don't worry, Dagda, I'm awake now. I'm not jet lagged anymore. 3 years later.
Botnem baš hard, vi na Hans sama igra mnogo lepo. A sam igra u svog idola, tako da i to je simpatično ako ništa. Dobi ime po Hans sami, tako da. To je sebi je dao ime po Hans sami.
Mitigate some of the damage control here as Hansama steps up, get the crystal, good little polymorph, Beyblade goes out, and Sam D backs off. So glad he changed his name, could have been a lot worse. The Skumon spot now.
Yeah, I mean, nice job by Hansam and Lebrov to bully the early laning phase, because obviously Lucian, you think lane bully, but it doesn't really kick in until he has full access to his rotation on level 3. Same with the Melio, like you want to have the shields and the Cozy Campfire and also the kickback to try and stop some of those. But Skumon, yeah, this is very aggressive.
Hands on the poke here. Hans Simon's not going to start it off. Instead, he's waiting for Skumon. Polymorph comes out. The pillar's out as well. Sandy.
Uf, ojoj. Flash basic i ovo je fajn, ovo je dobro za Navi. Skumon i njegovi plevi.
Huge play from Sam D on the flash. Manages to make that happen. And it ended up a little dicey from G2. Like, the miscommunication, it felt like Skumon was backing away as people were going in. It all ended up a little bit wonky there. We'll catch it on the replay, but still, nice job by Navi. Because as they go under here, keep your eyes on Skumon, because the immediate polymorph so Sam D can't get anything happen. Skumon then doesn't want to try and go, actually sorry, gets knocked back, my bad. So Sam D can't really follow up, or Skumon can't follow up. Has to flash away, Parrots gets the flash after. So nice job getting 2 kills back. Yes, you lose the experience on the wave, but still, you're very happy with picking up a kill and assist there, Sam D.
Also, it's Warhammer picked up as well. A bit of the ability haze. I mean, for the Lucian, feels so nice here in the early lane. 500 gold lead, make it 600 to be precise here for Na'Vi through their lanes to kick the game off. And Lebrov has no summoners left remaining. Granted, Sam D and Paris both use their summoners, but...
No, BB Minter samo stakuju agres, tu nema šta. Tu se ništa menjati neće. Aurora je, mislim, hero je dobar. Teška je za igru. Ali pogotovo u solo queue baš ima potencijala da nosi. Mislim, bilo koji heroj se puno brsta i srećom, ne može bude loš. Samo je pitanje koliko je teško da Koliko je teško da egzekutuješ to. To je manje više jedina stvar. Han samo dobija sad ovo. Ovo je matchup. Lucian brsta i onda Junara samo... preuzme. To je fora.
Although may want to reset actually to make sure he can spend the gold.
This is a disaster. It is a cannon wave which will mitigate the loss of CS a little bit, but as Paris picks it up, I mean, there'll be 3 minions left standing, if even that, for Sam D. 45-27 CS right now, 500 gold lead. Before that kill, moments ago, it was 100 in the favor of Sam D. Yikes.
Now, G2 opening up on mid. Talk about the Scuttle Crab, but Relach already in position.
Ledge level 5 though, there's a bite out of the clone. Pillar goes down, now on a cooldown as Kobe walks into Fog of War. Tries to threaten the level 6, he does have Chaos Storm, wants to threaten Caps, and he might just pop that down in a second as Dragon's still up. It's about pressure for this bottom lane, Na'Vi gonna start it off, and Caps gonna try and get the last of the CS as he's chunked out.
Ne znam, sad je pitanje opet i kad gledamo skele, jer nisam kažem opet siguran kako će dobro skelovati Trundle. U teoriji moraš da uđeš u fight da čekaš da Wukong nastaka pasivno do kraja da bi mu ukro statove. A tad je verovatno ili si ti mrtav ili on mrtav, kao nije... Ne znam, čudno, jako čudno. Han samo vodi na botu, Minter vodi na topu. Mimo toga, potprilike even, Parus ima malo lida, što na supportu možda nije toliko bitno.
Like the Yunara Lulu, we walked away a little bit. We focused more on the Corki Nami, which then the Lucian Milio had a response. And we just done this full circle of like, well, actually we can still do Yunara Lulu. Kind of expecting we're going to get this Lucian Milio. Lane's gone fine so far. Whether you want to say that's Han Sama or... Yeah.
Well, that was what I was going to say. I think it's been Han Sama and Abroad. Obviously, with Skumon's help, playing well in the 2v2. Like, catching Sam D with the slow, just as you're about to pop the Transcendence is really nice to get that kill.
True.
And at this stage, like, this is where you should start to teeter over into Sam D and Paris being able to win at the lane, but because they're behind in the experience, and they didn't have the waves to try and play around, or the level spikes to try and play around as well, got a little bit more difficult for them. Down summoner spells as well, because they burnt it in the initial Terror Dive, meant that got a little bit tough for them as well, but it is starting to come back up, and level 6 is hit. Still have to be careful with Illusion, Milio.
This might be a flash.
Dobro pobi, uda?
But a good time gang from Skumon.
Lepo ušao u fog ovdje, iako je bio van žbuna, ovaj ga stvari nije video, zašto gripovi nisu došli. Dobro, Bibi, lepo odigrano. Još jedan kub, isto je to. Glimra. Doran's Helm diff. D-Helm scaluje dobro, Armor je mar scaluje od količine healtha koju imaš, tako da D-Helm kao item je decent.
Maybe that's what made the damage difference in the end for the Casates. Caps might be in trouble out of the gravity field just in time. He wants the dissonance over the backline minions. Or to attack this melee one as Poby tries to poke him, but Skumon and Labrov are here, as I think Caps is trying to bait it in. But there is a ward there, so it will happen.
Now Labrov in the room. It's going to be the Void Grubs focus still. Looking at like Relech and Poby in a decent spot where if Labrov gets caught here, it could be a bit dangerous.
He does have wild growth. There's a gravity field. Labrov's going to heal for the movement speed. Caps has come back in with a TP. Relech found out, but he's going to clone over the wall. At least waits to get the bait down. Cozy Campfire heals him back up. So it is about the grubs here. None taken just yet. As Skumon goes back to camps. Bit of a deep roam here from the top laner of Na'Vi as Amainti got solo killed here by Broken Blade.
Yeah, I mean, good timing by Bibi.
Lepo odigrao Bibi. Si nije bolje mogao. Faktički da ga je pogodio ulti, Minter bi bio nekih 80 unita bliže kuli, mogao je da kajta ka turetu. I realno da je dovde došao iza svoje kule, verovatno bi već bio safe. Ne bi Bibi mogao da ga dajeva i da ovaj trču ka kuli. Jedini način kako ga juri je da ga najuri van kule.
Skewmon just went to his top side clear. He's going down. He says, screw it. Doesn't care about the grubs and just abandons it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, the grubs are nice if you can get in all three, but not the end of the world if you end up getting across against a composition that has very little threat on side lanes. Like, only really Mainter will have that, and BB at the moment is stalling on him a little bit.
Doing some damage. Thor Mail Rush as well. Relech found a target. It's Caps in the mid lane. 1 versus 2. Shockwave's going to bring back only Relech, but he's looking for the second Cyclone flashes. Gets a knockup. Caps matches, but he gets bonked. The flash not worth here as Relech opens up his kill.
Wukong isto također skijela jako dobro. Skewman mora crasha wave sad. Obi pokušava da ga zona, da istanji wave i Skewman zna da ne sme da priđe ovdje jer samo će biti previjen od strane Viktora. CBG tu treba malo više da igra oko Han Same. Han Sama im već ima jako dobar momentum. I Hans, chill. Ima flash, ima exhaust, mislim sam da neće ići, no... Da. Nema šta.
This is what I was saying, against the Lucian you have to be so careful still at this level 6. Essence Reaver ticks over and he is incredibly strong. And Samo is trying to play off of his own spike with that Kraken Slayer, but the CC from Paris just opens up that little bit too long for Samdi to get the damage he needs.
Let's now hovering in the mid lane, looking for a play. The move from Paris there, but Cyclone's not up and available. In fact, there's only 2 ults up and available for Na'Vi as Dragon now spawns.
Zašto ne igra Lucijem, bra? Zašto svi... support meta je prešla na enchantere. To je bukvalno jedini razlog. Jako je teško. Ti možda igraš Brauma, ali ćeš dobiti tolike batine u lineu od range supporta da ti baš neće biti igrivo. I onda ne možeš ni da budeš taj kao tanky Braum koji stoji i soaka damage kada si level 6, a protivnički level 10 top laner dođe puknete 2 puta i ti si mrtav, znaš. Meta je samo prešla sa tank supportova na enchanter supportove, to ti je u suštini ideja.
Pulled out the ult, he's waiting for the Pathmaker. Remember again, true damage. Oh, buff and flash, no. Shockwave almost connects. I think that public execution, it must have been the timer of the Unstoppable that did something there.
Yeah, I think it like connected with Broken Blade to send him behind right as BB dashed. So just about able to escape, but is it enough?
You're going to have to ask, waiting for the distance damage to come through. Mainter gets back, he's got the Eclipse, so he's got the shielding. He gets it in clutch, but command attack. A couple of clockwork wind-ups, the dive, and clean. Broken Blade can't tank anymore. Caps comes in with no mana, and with the Drake Hounds, that Mainter gets out at the very least. But the turret has been abandoned.
Yeah, I mean, the G2 don't get the kill, but Mainter misses this whole wave. So, again, opening up that top CS numbers. It is going to be a response, though, from Na'Vi on this bottom side.
Oh, TP. Caps. He's got no mana. Skewmon's coming in. He wants to pillar this, but remember, it is an Ambassador, so Skewmon maybe has to be careful with Eclipse. There's a lot of damage. And dueling of Trundle can't be understated, though, with now with Trinity Force. LeBron is going to make this dive part 2. Mainter gets...
Ajde vidimo. Ovo bio cool, pa nije dive. Okej, dobro. Relech mislim doće da nađe Labrova, ali pitanje da li može da ga nađe, ako samo možda ubije Skewmonda, da. Clean, sad će ubije Labrova svejedno. Trebao je Wukong da ode na Junaru ovdje. Sad će Junara dobiti kill i možda preživjeti. Fine, okej. I ovo je bilo bez kapsa, tako da ovo je na kraju okej za G2 kad pogledaš.
Samdi got some turret plates on bot lane, and then they just ran topside to match G2's play. The turret holds on. Na'Vi end up with more kills, crucially going on to people like Relech as well, who's now very strong on this Wukong. Honestly, I'd be delighted with that as Na'Vi.
Oh yeah. I mean, it all started with Caps being low on mana, being too far in the lane, as you see here.
Yeah, so Mainter does a really good job here, because it's Han Sama drops the aggro, Labrov ends up taking it. Mainter then goes aggressive thinking he has the play, but look on your minimap, like you've already got this run up to the top side from the Lucian.
Han Sama je mnogo jak kad se produži fight, to je fora, ali... Oiši Parus je mnogo failova, nisam ni video.
again. I mean, Broken Blade wants to take main to town. Once again, he just burned the flash in the top lane. The slowdown with the Natovo strikes. The flip back in.
Okej. Ulto je da negira knockback od Xante, a to je u stvari poprilično clean bilo, iskreno. To je u stvari bilo poprilično clean.
Still though, Navi with push on mid starting to rotate down, so Broken Blade has to back away, and it's this constant push-pull of G2 trying to find plays on the opposite side. So now it's Povey who has to run away from this top tower, and Oriana should be able to take it.
3 members of mid. Navi going to get a push out first. It's all about the Herald transition for top side. Ignore Dragon Timer for another 2 minutes as Navi hold control. It's G2 with the gold lead, but Navi do feel like they're the ones that are making these aggressive plays and succeeding. And again, it's a Cassante with the gold lead, so it feels fake here. And starting up the Herald, no contest just yet.
No, I don't think G2 will. They got the top tower. They're getting presence on this bottom side as well with the Cassante push. There's 3 turret plates left. I don't think he can full take on this wave. I don't think it's a big enough wave, but should be very close to taking that tower. Yeah, we'll need one more. So in this position, I think you're okay as G2. Like, the Herald will potentially take mid tower, but you've gotten both side lane towers out of this play.
Yep. It feels nice. Again, opening up the map when we're kind of talking about these next couple of objectives. Adding a bit of pressure on as Caps may be in trouble. Ignore the point. Mainta doesn't have the ulti available though, that's the difference.
Yeah, I think it now is harder though for G2 to try and play map states because Oriana in a side lane, very vulnerable.
True.
And you don't really have the like mid push that you want to guarantee that you can get all the vision control to play around this Oriana.
Znači Navi ima 2 Drakea, Sol i Beyond Broken. Ambessa na topu bez TP-a. Ne znam da dobija TP za 60 sekundi. Mislim da dobija TP.
Navi are on their 3rd Drake if they can pick this up. G2 are looking for a pick in the same brush that set them up in game number 1. A pillar on Sam D, not bad, but he relentless pursuits away as Navi have numbers advantage through the lane itself.
Yeah, but it's very early, so you'll get the full push from Oriana on the bottom side, which now has to be collected by Pope.
30 sekundi. Ambessa recall u TP za shield, BB TP od ozgo sa shieldom. I gledamo pravi 5 na 5. Mislim da ovaj 5 na 5 verovatno odlučuje game, najiskrenije. Mislim da ovaj 5 na 5 odlučuje game. Gde si, Ivane? Čuj, Navi u lecu, Navi 6-2, Navi dominira. Kupili su slot. Navi je kupio slot od Roga. Astralis. Jako dobro od BB-a. Jako dobro od BB-a. Pogledaj ti skora. Pogledaj skora, vrate. Gdje je G2, gdje je Navi sad. G2 teoro 3-2. Nisu igrali puno partija, ali... Ovo je baš big. I uzimaju Drake i G2 je stabilizovao manje više sve.
Position. So you can see there's the wave on boss. So G2 are like, okay, if no one's going to go collect it, Broken Blade is just going to force the play. Ton of damage immediately. Skewmon with a good pillar as well to keep people all within range for Broken Blade.
Bio je baš lepo odigran. Iskreno lepo igra ovaj game.
Everyone on Navi's running for the hills, but you've already lost this massive wave on bot lane. Oriana pushed in another wave and got a turret play for herself as well. So she's well on her way now towards the Shadow Flame. And G2, map is better, team fights better. The only thing they don't have is the objectives right now, but they're sure to come.
I mean, they've stopped the Dragon stack, and that's the main thing. As now looking towards the mid lane turret, Sam D slowed here. Here comes Skewmon with a pillar to threaten them off. This won't be a turret taken as Navi feeling confident to step up and play, but look at their progression. Moving up towards the top side, shepherding here for Broken Blade, getting deep vision. The top side where Baron spawns in a minute 10. G2 are setting up control themselves as Herald from Relech is going to come on down and get a charge right at the turret store.
To je kula. Ovi gore, pogledaj. A gledaj Vivija i Kapsa. Braće moji istražuju svet. Niti dajvuju Viktora, niti se rotiraju da kolapsuju na mid. Drže se za ruke i šetaju prazni džungli Navija na topside-u. A znaš šta je fora, Ivane, gledaj. Pre leca, znači pre početka ovog splita, mislim da je ovo samo kill. Da, pre početka ovog splita bio je turnir koji se zove First Stand. Na tom First Standu igrala ekipa G2-a. I onda Rio da bi ispao fair, jer čim se završio First Stand, sljedeći vikend je bio lec. Rio ti je pomerio da G2 ne igra prvu nedelju da bi mogli malo da odmore, jer su bili u Brazilu. ti prvi znaš kako je, bio si u Meksiku pa si došao vamo, realno jet lag, sve to ono umorni od puta, nisu u stanju da igraju. I onda G2 nije još igrao prvu nedelju. Zato će sad igrati najviše, sljedeće nedelje će igrati 3 od 3 dana, svaki dan će igrati G2. Tako da na kraju će svi imati jednak broj partija. Samo su neke ekipe odigle više na početku, a neke ekipe će igrati više kasnije. I plus 3 dana se igra po 2 best of 3, onda ne mogu ni svi da igraju u istom danu. Znaš. To je u suštini fora.
It's very back and forth though. Like
it is, but Paris has found out good pillar. He flashes another summoner down. We just watched Relech lose his flash. We watched Paris lose his flash. Hans MD caught out. I mean, again, it's just a storybook that Na'Vi keep writing pages into of consistently dropping the ball in the mid game. And you can't do that versus G2 no matter what you think of their split.
Well, it's been a bit of a weird one because I can understand where Na'Vi's coming from. Basically what you want to have is like Orianna is going to push on top side. Yep. We've already said that you can't get push on this mid wave as G2. The Lucian is too strong. So instead, what has been happening is we're getting multiple members from G2 onto this mid wave to hard force the play. Like Skumon just lives in mid lane alongside the Yunara and the Lulu. But instead of just being like, okay, that means we push in mid and we then attack the side lane, they're using Broken Blade to just completely drop this side lane. Like, this does not exist for G2 in a lot of situations, to just make sure that they can have Broken Blade.
Da, okej, mislim, period je ispo fair, nema šta. Sljedeći vikend će biće u Španiji, biće giga fun, sljedeći vikend. Ali G2 u suštini, što znači, dalje imaju opasnost da mogu da ispadnu, samo što nemaju dovoljno partija još, tako da. Ako G2 pobedi ovo, onda su baš u dobroj poziciji. Sutra Fnatic i Vitality igraju, ako Fnatic izgubi od Vitalitya, Fnatic nema šanse da prođe dalje. Ako sad G2 pobedi i sutra Fnatic izgubi, to je GG. Fnatic ispada. Ja mislim. Znači, tehnički može ko isto da bude u problemu.
Lucian cannot do anything, and if you cannot play aggressive as Lucian, you might as well not have the pick. Yep. And at the moment, there has not been enough vision control for this Lucian play aggressive. Broken Blade is constantly skipping and like leaving waves on bot lane because he knows that as long as he can keep Orianna.
Da li sam nekad mišljao nekom trenerstvu poslu? Pa radio sam ja kao trener. Radio sam ja kao trener za igrače, radio sam i kao trener za ekipe. Prvo ekipu koju sam ikada kočuo je bila jedna collegiate američka ekipa, NA team. Oni su igrali college ligu u Americi. Kočuvao sam njih. Bio sam na tryout da kočujem Navi kada je Double Name bio u Naviju, to je fun fact. I kočuvao sam Crvenu zvezdu. Kratak neki period. I kočuvao sam naravno individualni igrače, kočuvao sam sve od bronze do challengera, tako da radio sam dosta kao coach. Jedina fora generalno sad kočovati ekipu ne planiram više skoro nikad iz prostog razloga što, mislim, ne planiram nikad, može se dogodi, nikad ne znaš, ali nije to dovoljno konsistent posao, znaš. Previše sam mator s tim da se bavim. Jer to ti ono, kočaš pa da li imaš posao, da li nemaš posao, pa ovo, pa ono, previše je to nestabilno. Ok, je to za nekog malo mlađe koji tek pravi karijeru, ali sad mi je bukvalno plan full fokus na na Fortunu, tu radim već koliko dugo radim i ne planiram nešto pretjerano da idem. Tu smo u Fortuni, pored toga full fokus na stream, na Patreon. Da to odradimo sve kako treba, da bude sve bolje i bolje svaki mesec. Naravno, bit će tu hikapa, mislim, eto, Ivane, ta situacija. I to ćemo rešiti, sve će se rešiti, tako da poenta je da učimo i da budemo sve bolji i bolji. Sad ovaj mjesec, eto, i šorcevi smo izbacili, što je cool. Konačno je došlo malo toplije vreme. Sljedeći mjesec će neke kape da budu neki rančevi, nešto ćemo da napravimo, tako da mora bude zanimljivo uvek. Vivi pad, ovo je loš fight za G2. Hans sama nije bio u poziciji za početak fajta. Kaži svoj firme. Big true. Ali da, ne planiram ništa da menjam, iskreno. Mislim kao, Volao bi samo sve što radim da radim malo bolje. Nisam kao u fazonu kao to je to, sad tu sam desam, znaš? Volao bi da to bude još bolje, volao bi da mi da bude više Patreona, da hitamo 100k na YouTube-u, da kad kastujem bolje, to je sve, ne valja da čovjek bude u fazonu kao to je to, sad stojim tu gde sam do kraja vremena. Mislim, to nije ni zabavno, ni nema smisla u tome. Ali ono, eto, imam tih nekoliko stvari sad koje radim. U mom slučaju Fortuna, Patreon i stream i teretana. Eto, to su mi to ono kao 4 stvari koje bi volao da probam samo da budem što bolji i bolji. Sad kažem, mislim, gle, ako se dogodi nekad, ne znam, neki humanitarni projekat, neki balkanski losra, to ne zbrti igraću, koučovaću, to da ne, Ako je for fun, ako je za content, hoću. Ali da ja sad kao ozbiljno se posvećujem tome, zahteva previše žrtvovanja, a već sam kao, jeli, donekle došao da ne moram nužno budem u toj poziciji ako to ima smisla. Tako da bilo je zabavno koučovati, nije da nije.
And top 4 getting denied by G2 sounds exactly like the G2 thing to do in the split.
And putting them solidly out of reach of Fnatic as well, which would be a very good time for G2, so happy all around. As Navi kind of just looking for
G2 sljedeći vikend igraju 3 meča, ako pobede jedan od ta 3, Fnatic nema šanse da ih stigne. Ali ako izgube sva 3, a Fnatic dobije sutra, imaju isti skor, a Fnatic je pobedio u međusobnom susretu. Tako da G2 onda, ako se to dogodi, što ne vjerujem da se dogodi, onda G2 ispada. Što kažem, mislim da samo teška priča će to biti slučaj.
Just delays the resets though, so you get to push out waves, mid and boss, get the vision that you want for this dragon in a minute's time, and a third Hex dragon, very nice for G2 if they do want some.
Caps get the push out, Baron's down in 35 seconds, hasn't been a monster Baron. He's got the waves in order, but hasn't broken as much as I thought it would. G2 now looking for the last push of it. There's 25 to go. Main's going to defend here, he's got a GA now as his third item. In a turret will go down. G2 looking to get a fast push on an inhibitor turret with the last 2 waves of this buff. Mains are chunked. Hansama steps up. Min's doing a lot of work. As you said, the Cyclone could be huge.
Hansama je baš prejak. A Lucija nema Infinity. Nope. Ne. Solidna ideja, jako da je Rileč uspio da stigne do backline, pogodi Noka, bilo bi fajn. Ovako je samo Mainter uletao, ovi ostali nisu mogli. Jer problem je da su svi kolapsovali, uleteli bi u šokvev, Cavs bi ih šotovao. Da, G2 samo se vraća u život ko lud. Lep.
He gets at least something there, but still G2 happy out.
G2 waiting for the bait because they know that Relech has to check for the dragon as he lenses there. Skumon puts the pillar down and with Subjugate as well in a lot of trouble is this man slowed down by Hansama. The engage in, but the polymorph again, I cannot say it enough. Lebrov is smurfing on this Lulu.
And this is what we talked about in draft. It can be so difficult to play these like
Dobar, G2, baš dobar. Mislim, kaj nam je i drago. Hansama baš smurfuje, baš je, brate, predobar je. Mislim da je Hansama trenutno drugi najveći rangar na AD carry u Evropi. A prvi je neki random solo queue igrač, ali kao i spamu i solo queue dosta od novog reseta.
I think a lot of it has been the outclass that has come through in so many of these fights we've seen.
Yeah, and I think it is just kind of, again, like we saw Navi come in versus, and a lot of praise duly needed or awarded to them. But there is just definitely a step up, as you see again, between where Navi sit in the league and where teams like G2, KC, like that. This is a different level compared to them.
I mean, that's why we said even with G2's record so far in the split, they are in that top 4, regardless if they make it or not. Like, they get that leverage because of what they did at first stand, what they do every other split. It's just the way it is. It's not Glaze for no reason. It's Glaze for G2's sake. It's putting the final touches on this game right now.
Ne bi trebali da izgube. Sad gledam legitimno G2, mislim, ja ne vidim kako gube. Lucija nema Infinity. Dok Lucija ne dobije Infinity, mislim da fajtovi nisu ni remotely blizu. Caps također ima 3 itema, on baš bije. I Hansama je prefidan. Kako su novine na Patreonu? I pa, znaš šta je fora, Ivane, što Klara je iskazala interes da pravi custom meal planove, a nekoliko, u stvari, što je ona iskazala, nekoliko ljudi je kontaktiralo Klaru i bilo je u fazonu da hoće meal planove, i onda sam ja bio u fazonu, ok, dodaj na tirove koliko god ti misliš da to, da će tebi oduzimati vremena koliko god ti misliš da vredi, samo dodaj i to je to. Tako da u suštini sve novine na Patreonu su full padaju na Klaru, jer kažem, dosta ljudi je pitalo da li može nekako da doda, da pravi meal plan i sve. I onda svakoj osobi individualno pravi, vidi šta ta osoba jede, šta ne jede, da li je ne znam, toleranta na laktozu, da li smije da jede ribu, i onda im pravi planove da li hoće se goje, da li hoće da mršave itd. itd. Tako da efektivno se za stare Patreone ništa nije promenilo. Postoji verovatno moguće ćemo ukloniti, to ću još vidjeti, ali gamer i fitness tier možda uklonim. Svako većina ljudi su ili lurkeri ili su šefine, kao to je fora. Tako da gamer i fitness možda uklonim i onda stavimo nov fitness sa Klarinim meal planovima i sve, i onda Klara ljudima pravi custom meal plan. Ima, kažem, puno ljudi koji to, mislim, meni to radi, tako da, ja kao pričam mnogo ljudi koji to voli, a meni Klara pravi meal plan. Ali da, tako da, kažem, za stare Patreone faktički se ništa ne menja, sve ostaje isto. Jedino što, eto, za ljude koji žele meal plan, da li za balkovanje, za katovanje, za šta god. Opet sam ja targetovan, ja sam gamer, to je strateški. A inače, fun fact, imamo 2 gamera i 2 fitness tira. Imamo 2 gamera i 2 fitness tira. Mislim, fore, što se toga tiče, realno, i kažem, to sad trebam s Klarom da vidim danas sutra. Realno gledano, svako ko samo hoće da chilla i da igra arame i to, realno samo budeš lurker tier. Sad, ok, gamer će imati pri odnosu na lurker, ali kad god igramo Patreon Game Night, uvek se potrudimo kao community da kogod želi da igra. Znaš, kao glupo je da nekog sad izostavimo jer kao, njega šta god. Tako da dok je Game Night, mislim da bi to svako trebalo da bude što više all inclusive, što bi se reklo. Sviđa mi se, pa drago mi je, drago. Kažem, dosta ljudi je već istimalo Klaru da im to radi i onda je nekako najsmislenije bilo da se ubaci u Patreon, jeli? Inače, Horval, ti bolje, brate, kako si? Jer pomogla palačinka ili drugarica? Oni gube ovo, oni nemaju AD carry-a. Mislim, imali su AD carry-a, nego ga više nemaju. Koliko znači kad imaš živog AD carry-a, produženi fight, samo nema šanse da dobiješ. To je fora. Brat moj je bio olešen. Ali nema veze, brate, realno bio si gajbi, sediš za kompom, chillaš, tako da vidi. Kažem, ja koji se u životu napi, nisam, kažem, ako ćeš da piješ, znate, piješ na bezbednom, nici, ne razumeš, nici napolju, nici vozio, nici ulazio, ne znam nijede. Gajbi si, brate, kući si, blejiš na kompu, piješ, šta god. Realno bole to ovo, brate. Razočarano, Navi, uzit će ovdje da Skuma ne igra. Pa dobro, Skuma igra Trundla, tako da realno, koliko može da igra Trundla. Ali Rileć nije iznao koliko ja verujem da on može da iznese. Pomogla je 0 auf, brate. Ja znam šta ti kažem, Horva, drž se, brate moj. Mainter? Dobro, Mainter bi da mi brže završimo lec. Respektuje, moramo gledamo film svakako, tako da... Mislim da večeras gledamo Apex, ovaj nov film koji je izašao, tako da to treba pogledati. Ili gledamo seriju Dende Vornan, ima 3 epizode po sat vremena. Tako da vidit ćemo šta ćemo gledati od ta dva. Ali, da... Fair, Horve, fair. To je to. GG's. Dobro, okej. 2-0 G2. Giga lepa partija s njihove strane. Mislim, G2 44 Han Sama. Han Sama je baš dobar iskad. Han Sama je stvarno... Što jeste, ali stvarno je baš dobar. Tako da... Respekt i za Han Samu, respekt za G2. Pokidali su i s ovom pobjedom, kažem, u jako su dobroj poziciji. Sad opet sutra gledat ćemo Vitality i Fnatic, to je druga serija, provjerit ću, ali mislim da je druga serija. Tako da sutra druga serija, Fnatic, Vitality, ako Fnatic izgubi, oni nema šanse više da prođu dalje, mislim. Imaju, ali koji mora da izgubi svaki game, to nema šanse da dogodi. Sad ćemo da vidimo, sad ćemo da vidimo kakva je situacija. Fnatic je 3-5, ko je 3-2. U teoriji, ako Fnatic izgubi, koji mora da izgubi i protiv Shiftersa, i protiv Giantsa, i protiv KC-a, i protiv G2-a. Mislim da protiv Shiftersa ne bi izgubili mi da se skupimo iz četa. Tako da, to je legitimno. Ništa ljudi, bitna stvar. Za sve Patreone, pratite Movie Room. Gledat ćemo ili Dende Vornan ili ćemo gledati Apex. Znači jedno od ta dva ćemo gledati. Tako da da, vidimo se na Discordu, ko bude raspoložen da gleda. Mislim da bi kroz nekih pola sata trebali da krenemo, nisam 100% siguran. Tako da, patroni, vidimo se na Disu, gledamo film još malo, svi ostali vidimo se sutra u 5 ako samo Lec pratite, ako pratite samo stream i Lec, vidimo se sutra posle Leca. Tako da, budite dobri, ja odoh, da mi se vidimo kasnije.
It's still a trauma in my memories.
Okay. Same for me. I mean, we took turns inting that one, I feel like.
Yeah.
You all inted.
I entered game 3, Hans, I think you entered game 5. But
I still remember it was like we were 2-0 up. And then I think we were all like thinking about we really want to win.
Yeah.
I don't think there was like a smile in our face. But then you look at the enemy team, they were all laughing being 0-2. And you're like, okay.
They were going with the vibe so much, they were just, remember they just first pick Wukong, just like that, they were, it was one of those moments they just lose in peace, but then they won.
Wukong Armut?
Yeah, it was Armut first pick Wukong and we lost.
My God.
Oh yeah. Playing, I remember playing Senatam, we were 5k gold lead, about to end the game. And then, they played their Wukong Rakan, I believe. It was a sad moment.
Yeah, getting reverse sweeps in finals, good time. But hey, you had good times together, and that's what matters. And we had fun today as well, though. I have one question, Steven. Why was it so hard to finish the damn game when you were so fed just now?
Oh, maybe maybe I had a bit too much fun playing the late game. I just wanted to put my go in, and I think firstly, if I go in, I need to actually like call my teammates.